I'm looking forward to today's conversation. You're a very energetic person with an interesting background. I did do some research on you. You were detailing cars in 2016, then transferred into technology, where you were working at Ingram Micro. Am I saying that properly?
Ingram Micro.
Ingram Micro.
Yep.
Cool. You're working at Ingram Micro. From there, you got into marketing at Archway Marketing, where ultimately you took the freelance route with videography, which is where I'm going to focus the bulk of my questions on today. Those three fields: technology, marketing, and videography or film. In that regard.
Okay.
But aside from that, man, Troy Moss, first question to kick things off, man. What's your story?
My story is just like anybody else's story. I feel like I started off in high school, like anybody else. I started doing artwork, and I was drawing on.
Really?
Yeah, I was just drawing on paper, man, notebook paper. I didn't have no whole like setup or nothing like that. I just randomly decided I want to get into art. Yeah. And from there, I started doing stuff, and then I applied to Art Institute, and that took me into they're not open anymore, but man, I ain't gonna get into that. But so I got from there, got accepted.
Are you talking about MIT?
No, Art Institute of Michigan. Well, they had one in Novi, one in Troy.
Okay,
so they helped me start it off. I started working on my degree in media arts and animation, and then I was like, nah, I want to work on video games. So then the only option I had was to go to school in Vegas, and I told my mom, I said, yeah, I think I'm just gonna up and leave. And after this is fresh out of high school. Yeah. Fresh out of high school. I didn't know nobody in Vegas. Went there. Was on my degree doing the game art and design. Even made a couple games with some students.
Really?
Yeah.
We apps or like video games that
we made a tabletop and then like just like animations for games, writing a script and code and stuff like that.
When you say tabletop, are you referring to? I don't know. On PS2,
like we made a card game.
Really?
Yeah, we made the tabletop card game.
No way.
It's called Top Dog.
Okay.
And my partner Frankie. If you ever see this, Frankie, I appreciate you. You helped me out a lot in Vegas, so shout out to Frankie.
Yeah.
But yeah, and from there, and when I was about to graduate, the school decided, we're closing down, and the option was transfer or just stop. I decided I didn't want to do artwork. I despised artwork from that moment forward because I despised it because at that point I just lost my whole degree that I've been working for. I moved across the country for this. This is what I wanted. This is everything I wanted. I needed it. And when it happened, I was like, I'll never go and do any type of artwork. So I stopped for years. And I think in 2020, I heard of this app called Blender. And Blender is a 3D application that helps you can do animations, annotations, sculpting, all kinds of things. And I put it out there and to see people liked it. They liked my 3D work. Started doing 3D work. And my 3D work led me into meeting people that go to UNLV, and from there they had this workshop class and where it was all about camera work and lighting. I was attending those, and that led me to my first film festival where I was there with people like Michael J. White, James Franco. It was a pleasure, and anybody that's looking to go into that industry, I always recommend going to film festivals. You can even volunteer, and you go in there for free, and then you can just network while you in there.
Wow,
that's what I did, and that's how I ended up meeting Michael J. White to begin with.
Wow.
So it just, and it didn't work out when I was in Vegas, and I came back here, and Full Sail University was like, hey, if you wait until June 2022, you can go for free because I had a scholarship. I was like, okay, signed up for there. They gave me all my gear.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay for none of it because it was all through Full Sail. My tuition was paid.
Nice.
So I have a Sony FX6. They gave me my Westcott lights. And once you have a camera and lights, you can pretty much go anywhere. And that's what led me to my career now. And I graduate in November this year, actually. 29th to be exact.
Yeah.
So right after Thanksgiving.
That's interesting, man. I really want to go back. There's a lot you touched there. I really want to go back to illustrating in school, the very beginning. Talk about what was some of your inspirations during that time period, and where did you see it going when you were just in school, drawing and just having fun with it?
So my inspiration was just that I was like, I could draw this character that people know. I wonder if I can keep drawing it. And my first ones came off pretty booty. Any artist that starts off, you already know it's like, this is probably not, I'm not going to get anywhere with this. But I just was like, I'm going to keep doing it. And I designed, I drew one of my tattoo inspirations, and I went to a tattoo artist, and he was like, oh man, I like what you did there. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna keep doing it, and I just stuck with it, and I just fell in love with art as a whole. I don't feel like art is just like as a hobby. Art is like a lifestyle. So that's how I feel like that ties into me, because I don't want to just live in a couple moments for art. I want to live with art forever. At least that's how I feel.
No, I feel that, man. I already know the answer to this question. Obviously, you were watching anime during that time period. As I've gotten to know you, I know anime is huge for you. Was there any inspiration from there? Was there any impact that anime had on your illustrations?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Funny story. I ended up coming up with a character. His name was what was his name? I think it was Ken Fujimoto. His name was Ken Fujimoto, and the whole story was based upon that. It was like a society of people, and these two parents were a part of the society where it's supposed to where they were testing on children, calling them. It's kind of like related, similar to Powerpuff Girls in a sense. Okay. But also they have powers that were similar to like how a Saiyan would. But I know you're not too familiar, so I wanted them to be able to unlock a power, but it would be activated the same way that Sasuke's curse energy worked. And basically, whenever they would test you, and if your body had a chemical reaction to what they tested you with, you unlocked it, and that gene caused you to get these marks over your body. And I never wrote the full story for it.
Really?
And
why not, man? You need to go back to it. That sounds.
I had support for it too. I had support for it too, and I wish I had the full idea fleshed out to really make it make more sense. But that anime led to me drawing and creating one of my characters called Ken Fujimoto.
Really? Yes. Yo, that's insane, man. So at that time when you were you illustrating with stories? Like, were you trying to tell stories through your illustrations, or were you just purely having fun with drawing?
I purely was just having fun with it, man. I didn't ever think like, oh, I'm gonna make this my life. I was just like, oh, this is pretty nice and it's relaxing. Yeah. And I used to draw small things. I would draw big canvases of stuff. But I left most of that. I left all my artwork in Vegas, so I don't even have that to go back.
No, not on a hard drive. I
have pictures of it on my Facebook, but other than that. And all my artwork isn't on my Facebook, but all those years of drawings are gone. I will probably never see them again.
Oh my God. All the originals?
All the originals.
Oh man. Have you gotten back into drawing since then? Or have you just been, because that's a heartbreaking experience. I'm sure. And what made you leave them in Vegas?
So things in Vegas just didn't go the way I wanted it to go. You know, I was in a relationship. We were engaged, and things just. I'm not gonna get into the story. I don't want to bash on her, or even discredit anything because she's an amazing person. I give her that regardless. Yeah, it just didn't happen to work out. I came back to Michigan, and I was just like, man, I guess I should really take the art stuff a little bit more. And I was doing 3D art a lot of time. I got 3D animations out there. Actually, if anybody ever wants to see the artwork that I have out there, I do a lot of 3D models. It's Eccentric Moon Studio on Instagram. Really? Yeah, if you go into Eccentric Moon Studio on Instagram, you'll see all my 3D work. Yeah. So I may not have my physical drawings, but I always still have my 3D, and I have the flash out with all that. So I may have lost something, but I gained something that I liked way more.
Got you. Much respect too, also, like you said, for not bashing an individual. I mean, that's huge in our culture now. I am going to transition into this. Two things. First, I only have to ask this before I get back to the original part of your story. 3D art, 'cause I've been seeing a lot of videos with, like, over in China, they're like doing some crazy stuff with like their billboards, I guess, over there. Is that what you're talking about when you say 3D art, or are you talking about something different?
So when I say 3D art, I'm talking about an object being 3D. So something like a book, the microphone. Okay. I would do sculptures of like, a thing that I did for a minute that helped with my 3D artwork is that I would do challenges. And those challenges were, I called them the cartoon challenges. So I will put a poll up on that Instagram when I was using it. And I will put, hey, give me some some kid cartoon shows. And I would make artwork, popular items based out of there. So like I've done the Jackie Chan Adventures. I did the Stones. I did 3D render of that. Yeah. I did a 3D render of Danny Phantom's laboratory. I mean, that's Dexter's laboratory. I'm talking like him. From Danny Phantom's laboratory.
I almost called you out for it.
Yeah, that was bad. DD, get out to my laboratory. Just stuff like that. And yeah. I love it.
That is so crazy. I'm a Danny Phantom fan. I used to watch that show when I was a kid. I haven't seen that show in decades, man. But that was such a great show. And obviously, I already know from off camera, you said Avatar you don't consider an anime too as well. As I kind of bring this back to the original part of your story. So aside from the anime drawings, the cartoons, the things that helped you illustrate some of your creations at that time, was there anything else in your childhood that you feel like had an impact on who you are today?
I would say who had an impact on me was just, the environment that I was raised in, I don't got a big family, but I got a loving one. Okay. I have a very loving family. And the ones that I'm referring to, they already know who I'm referring to. I don't even have to get into it. Yeah. And even the family that I made as I was becoming a kid growing up, you know, I consider them family, even though we don't got blood. Family is who you make it, not what you're born with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just having that support of they always encourage me, you know, do what you want to do, stuff like that. And when you apply that, you know, that development cycle at a young age, it plays a very big factor, especially when you know all the bad that also comes with, you know, not trying to bash on people, but you know, when growing up in a black, you know, family, it has its pros and cons. You know, some stuff is good, some stuff is bad that where you don't realize it's bad until you get older. Right. So when you take all that part of it, even the bad that came with my life, I feel like made me who I am today. So I don't think, even though the stuff that has happened has hurt me, I don't think I will go back to change it, because I am a product of everything that has happened, and I feel like I'm doing my best, and you know, to be respectful with everybody, and I wouldn't want to change that who I am now, because it's meant to me meeting a lot of amazing people, even including you, just from having a general conversation one day. Yeah. So I don't. It's I know that's a tough question for me, because I really don't know what played into it. I just know what my life consisted of, and I either made it what it was, or I could have made it what I wanted to make it, or let it break me. And I feel like that's just how it goes. Yeah.
I feel that, man. I have to ask this question too, just because I know the stigma that kind of comes with kids who consider themselves to be artists at young age, especially growing up in a black family. Usually that comes with a lot of bad stigmas, like you're a nerd, or you know what I'm saying, or something like this. Was your family always supportive of your artwork, or were there kind of some I'm gonna keep this to myself vibes from you?
No, my mom, shout out to my mom, shout out to my grandma. I love them so much. Even my auntie, Danny, I love you. She's always been supportive too. Yeah. I look back at some of my drawings, I'm like, man, this is booty. Straight booty. Right. And they would have it up. Like, I made my mom a necklace one time. She had it for years, man. She would hang it in her rearview mirror. Yeah. And the necklace was, I don't even know what it was, bro. It was the ugliest shit ever. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss.
No, you're good, bro.
It was just the ugliest shit ever. And my mom had it up. My grandma would have the drawings hanging up, taking them to work. So, like, you know, like I said, I always had that welcoming, you know, loving family. And I was grateful to have that. But it also did come with the other family members that also may not have been as supportive as what it is, or didn't contribute in a positive way to my life, I should say.
I feel that, man. Based on what you said about your drawings and how you kind of described them, I'm sure you heard the phrase, "It's the love that counts," growing up a whole lot with some of the feedback you got from what you were creating.
Man, you want to know what's crazy?
What's that?
As a kid, I didn't really even get no feedback, honestly. It was just like, oh, this is good.
Really?
And I feel like people do that to preserve the childhood. The whole thing about being a child is like the ignorance that comes with it. Yeah. I feel like before, I would say up until like at least like 10, if it's gonna have something to do with art, just push your kid to do it. Don't necessarily ridicule them and be like, oh, this is bad. Tell them things like, oh, you're getting better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Encourage them to have that, because you never know. A kid start off doing art at 3, and next thing you know, now we got a new Picasso. Right. Then let's say you didn't support that and motivate them to keep drawing. Now that talent just is erased from the world. Facts. When it was already here to begin with. Facts. So that's how I see that.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, man. I think that goes for just about anything that a kid is doing, as long as it's positive and creative.
Exactly.
Because there's so many, especially parents, and it's the killing of the imagination that I think is just the worst thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, that's a good age to round up to 10. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, because how many, and that's what stops a lot of people, especially as they grow up, is that criticism that they heard when they were just creating out of the need to create, or out of the want to create. Like the way parents will kind of bash their kids, man. Yeah, I do feel you. I feel you there, man. Talk about that transition going into Vegas. You leaving, and by the way, what part of Michigan are you from?
I'm from Detroit.
Oh, East or West?
East.
My guy. My guy, man. My guy. Talk about that transition going from Michigan to Vegas, man. What was some of the things you had to learn? Some of the things you didn't expect to see? What's the misconceptions of Vegas? Get into it.
It's a long story. So the one thing about Vegas that absolutely shook me was the fact that people out west ain't like the people out here. They're not like, everything feels a lot more, I guess you could say, segregated. Like, you can literally see the difference between a wealthy city versus a city that's not making much money.
Out there or here?
Out there. Like, I know it sounds weird because I'm from Detroit, but like it's different. It was a different vibe for me because like a certain ethnicity would be out here, but then that ethnicity would look really poor, and then you go to a different ethnicity, and then this part of the city is looking really rich. It felt like it was literally broken up between who has money, who doesn't. Versus in Michigan, I feel like you can drive anywhere. Certain parts you like, oh hell no. But for the most part, you like, you know, I could dig it. I could dig it. Kind of like comparing. Wow. It's like compare Royal Oak.
Yeah.
And then you can go to somewhere like Taylor. Like
I see what
it's
you
not
mean.
like oh my god, but it's like
it has its own things, its own vibes.
You know what I'm saying?
About
It's kind of like that. And going into Vegas, it just threw me off with that. And I went there, like I said, it was a culture shock. And on top of that, the heat. I've never felt like, so a perfect example of like what that Vegas heat is like. You remember the SpongeBob movie where they're like, where they dried out on the table? That's how dry that heat is. Like imagine somebody is like talking to the back of your neck without the spit, and it's just heat. And at some point it's like, damn, this is hot. Yeah. But then at that point, it doesn't get any hotter anymore. It's just like, dog, this is hot.
Yeah.
And you know, I learned how, you know, to
it's about when they were talking.
Yeah, talking like this. Kind of like the person from that's like old girl from what was that? Us. What joint?
Oh my god.
Lupita. Shout out Lupita.
Yeah. Shout out that movie.
Yeah, shout out that movie. For real. But yeah, and it just led to me learning a lot of different people. They have a secret society there too. It's not really a secret, but like a person that's not in Vegas wouldn't know about it. They live underground, and at any given point, you can see them coming out of the sewer.
You're lying.
I swear. I put this on everything. You can look it up anytime you want to. They have electricity under there, beds, all that stuff.
In Vegas.
They're like an underground people. You will see them come out of the sewer, like the manhole cover. Look it up. Look, I promise you, I'm not even bullcrapping you.
Yeah.
But also too, Vegas is Vegas. Like it's a lot of stuff like you be walking down the strip and it used to be somebody giving you a card for a prostitute. Like it's just because it's a certain city in Vegas where it's legal.
Right. I was about to say, don't they have different laws out there for all of them?
It's like people think in total is Nevada, but like there's a specific city, not Las Vegas itself, but a specific city there that where it's legal, where you can have a brothel. That's it. And but Vegas also did teach me a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, I was living there when the mass shooting happened. I was freshly new to the state, so having a mass shooting go on and you have nowhere to go. I wasn't there directly, but I lived close to it.
Yeah.
And the thing about mass shootings is that, like, when we're on the outside, we're like, man, I can't believe that happened. But like the fear that goes through your body during it. So I live 15 minutes away from the strip, and at the time when the mass shootings happened, it didn't come out to y'all. We were told that there was more than one shooter. And it was branched out in different parts of the city. So a random gunshot going off, which was happening, was automatically targeted to that. Or somebody heard another shooting, the other shooter is there. They thought the wife was in on it. So you sitting up in your room, getting woken up by that news, and the fear that just sits in your body, especially when you know you have no family there. It taught me that, let's say if I would have wanted to go downtown at that time.
Yeah.
My whole life would have been taken, but since I decided to, I'm gonna stay in the house. That was a very awakening moment for me, and it's just like, man, happen to go with your gut feeling of just being like, I'm gonna be lazy can save you a lot, but it also came with a lot of anxiety. So, like, I can't be in an area for too long if there's like not enough exits or something like that. I get a lot of paranoia. Or like sometimes, I could be in a car and I'm like, man, this person really could just, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere just decide, I'm feeling angry. That's all. They always say that for the shootings. I'm feeling, they got some type of, they don't know the motive. It just snapped. And it's like, it just changed how I look at a lot of people. Some for the good and some for the bad. It makes me cautious.
Right.
But I know at the same time, it might make me seem like I'm disengaged. But it's not disengaged. It's just more about like, I need to give my body time to regulate to see if this fear that I'm feeling is real or if it's just, no, you just got inside the road, calm down a little bit. So how
long did that last?
What, that feeling?
Yeah, that anxiety.
I still have it. Still have it. It's I don't think it's a feeling that's ever gonna go away. It's just like when you think about it, any given moment, like somebody could just decide, we're gonna shoot. Yeah, we're gonna shoot. And you could be minding your business, and you just happen. You never know. Never know. Like if Like, for example, if I'm in Detroit, if I'm going to a Coney at like 12 in the morning, and somebody getting ignorant in the line, I'm probably gonna go. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no point in sticking around it. But it's like, it's just that quick though. Just because they got into like a disagreement, now all of a sudden your life is in jeopardy. Yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of one of those. You just you acknowledge it, but to keep it to the back of your mind. Yeah. Because any day you leave the house, you could die.
Facts.
Anytime you go to sleep, you can never wake up again.
Facts.
So I try to put in perspective as in anything and everything could kill me. So I might as well continue to live. Yeah. And when I gave myself that mindset, it made things a lot more bearable. Yeah. To just keep going, because the world ain't gonna change once I'm gone. Mm-hmm. The world ain't gonna change just because I'm here, unless I do something directly. But right. Everybody's all trying to just live and, you know, make everything happen. And nobody wants to go through everything that's going bad. And that, you know, we just all gotta continue to live life and try to be as best as we can for one another.
I feel that. But you have such a different perspective on it than most people. Like, even what you said about being in Detroit, going to the Coney, somebody, you know, feeling some type of way in the line, getting their food. You have such a different perspective on it, having survived the mass shooting. You know what I'm saying? Or having survived the area of where there was a mass shooting. Because most people, especially nowadays with access to technology or a phone, will go, I'm going to stick around just to see if I can have my moment, you know what I'm saying, behind the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true too.
So it's like, I have a lot of respect for that take. It's like you have like a no nonsense sort of feel to it. Like, I'm going to just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the best way you can do it.
So they shut the city down during that, when there was that mass shooting? How did they police the area?
So the way it was, they were cutting it off, and they were trying to get upstairs because the shooter was so high up in the hotel. Extremely high out, and when I was there, I didn't even like driving back there. Like, the fact that it opened back up, it's one of them things, dude, where like
you get uneasy. I'm sure.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but I don't know. The woman I was dating at the time, she went to a concert that was around near that area, and when I tell you the dread I had in my body was just that. She was like, cause she was okay with it, and I'm not gonna tell her where you can and can't go. I'll even take you. I took her and her friends there just to make sure everything was good. And I remember I went home and I just sat in the dark, just waiting for that call. Come, I need help. And because this wasn't too long ago after the shooting, and knowing that you're driving to that place, like, I didn't even go to the concert for that reason, because I was just like, no, I'd rather you, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather you just go with your friends. Like, I don't feel comfortable. And then on the way there, I still end up getting a call because some guy was harassing them. So now it's like, oh, all lights are on. All lights on. It's like, all right, now I got to hurry up and get there because something is happening, and this is what I predicted to happen that I didn't want to happen. Having a phone call from somebody you're dating saying this guy's harassing us is a scary ass call to get. Facts. And she was there with all her friends. And the way I seen it is, if I'm taking all of y'all out, I consider all of you my responsibility, not just the woman that I'm dating. Right. You got to have that. Like, I'm 6'2", bro. You know what I'm saying? I did kickboxing a little bit too. So it's like, I feel like I owe that to them to let them know that they are protected. And just that call and pulling up, and I got there as a guy left apparently. But that time stood still. You know, getting that phone call in the area where you know something bad already happened. Nah. Yeah, because your imagination was running wild, I'm sure. Oh, definitely.
Who is it? What is he got with him? Is he with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, my friend had to give me the this like exercise. It's basically like, tell me what you see, tell me what you feel, tell me what you think, tell me what you hear, or I forgot what they all are, but she used that to help me come to my senses, like, because I was driving. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to get there in time. Yeah. And yeah, man. But I don't know, that type of alert, I feel like works in my favor because it's not a single friend I got that can't call me and I'm not going to go there immediately. Like, right. You could be like, oh man, I'm 40 minutes away. I'm probably going to be hitting 100 down the highway just to get to you. Yeah. The police happen to flash the lights. Hey, it is what it is. I'll just explain it when I get the chance. But all right, now I got to get to where my people need me.
Right. You're a good friend.
I try to be, man. It's, I've met a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of friends, not in the death sense, but just, you know, people separate. So, you know, the friends that I have now, and I'm talking about my friends, like, and they know who they are. Yeah. Like, it's friends that I made that I haven't even known a year, and I consider them my family. They got me and I got them. I got friends that I've known for 7 years. You know, I got them. Right. So it's just, you know, it's just about whatever you want to make it. Like, whoever your friends are, treat them good, man. And if they're really your friend, at some point you should be considering them your fam in a sense. Yeah. You don't nobody want to be friends with nobody that's not gonna be there for them. And, you know, with today, especially on Twitter, oh my God, there's so much negativity and people talking. If you do this, you a bad friend. You do this, you a bad friend. Man, ignore all that noise. Yeah. Whatever works for you and your friends is what works for your friends, and let that be build y'all village off each other. That's the whole purpose of having friends. Like, people be having friends and be quick to let them go. Like, okay, just because you had a disagreement don't mean that. You know, just work it out. If it's something that can be talked about, talk it out. Don't be so quick to flip the gun. Don't be so quick to talk crazy. You can say something today and that boy be gone in the next couple minutes.
Right. Right. Seconds even.
Exactly.
I feel that, man. I think especially in today's, I was just looking at a video the other day. It was just talking about so many people are quick to let people go, but you need to learn how to hold on to people. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important for people to know that balance in between. Some people, yes, you do need to let go and cut off. Some people you actually are there for you, and you need to figure out how to work it out or work through this relationship. But ultimately, I feel like what diminishes a lot of relationships nowadays is the influence that social media has. It's almost as if social media doesn't approve of this friendship, then I don't approve of this friendship. When that person that you're cutting off could actually be the next blessing for you, or where the next blessing is going to come for you. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I do feel like I'm glad you said that, because most people don't talk about that. You know, and I don't think age is a big. How long you've known someone does not determine if they're a good friend or a bad friend, but I feel like most people don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but kind of, I know you touched a lot of trauma that took place in Vegas, but talk about some of the positive experiences that Vegas did kind of, you know, give you.
Well, one of the best things that Vegas did give me was that my relationship. You know, I never had a real relationship at that point. And we were together for 5 years. I did a lot of growing. I did a lot of maturing. I used to be a hothead, man. I used to be a big hothead. Yeah. And, you know, it was just.
That's why nobody teased you about your art.
Well, maybe. Well, I appreciate y'all though for being nice. You know, and it's just, I don't know. She taught me how to like regulate that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything doesn't have to be so quick to just boom, pop a lid. Yeah. So I learned how to regulate my emotions, work on my temper. I learned a lot about what it is, how to be a man, how to support a woman who is not dependent on you for money, but wants to have their own thing, but share in that same environment as you. Yeah. It taught me what I want from a woman that's going to be dating me, versus like a big thing that I've learned is that you touch base on like everybody being quick to cut off and everything. I've been one of those. I've been that person. Like, there's times where I could be talking to a girl and I'm like, oh no, this ain't it. Cut off. Yep. And I'm not gonna explain nothing. And I was like, I don't need to explain nothing to him. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, that is really shitty. Yep. And I know I've done that plenty of times.
Facts.
And it's like, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. And, you know, after being with somebody for 5 years, everything that was what you knew in the dating game prior to is not the same where it is now. So, absolutely. You know, I had to bring myself back into, how are things going this way? How is all this? I don't know. It even taught me how to become independent with myself and going towards my career. Luckily, she was very supportive of everything that I wanted to do. It didn't matter what it was. And being able to just switch between so many different things, it gave me opportunity to see, what do I really like and what do I really feel comfortable with? Because realistically, nobody wants to work forever. You just want to find something that's tolerable. And if it's tolerable, is it lucrative? And will I be happy with it? Yeah. And when I say lucrative, I'm not talking about I'm walking here like Floyd Mayweather. I'm talking about the type of lucrative where it's like, oh, I could take a week off for 2 weeks. Yeah, I can make sure my girl take off for 2 weeks. Oh, I could take my mama here for 2 weeks too. And it's not really dampen my pockets. That's what I mean by lucrative. Yeah. And no, just all that. I had technically bought my first house there. Taught me a lot about that stuff that I didn't know either. So Vegas came with a lot of lessons, some for the good, some for the bad. But regardless, even if it's considered bad, I consider it good because it taught me something how to be better as an individual and a man. And it led to me. I'm still learning as I go. Just like I touched base on it, I've cut women off, I cut people off. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Now I give it a chance, like, I'm going to talk to you. All right, one time. Talk to you again, second time. Third time, I'm not going to say nothing no more. I'm just letting it be what it is. And it's not my job to make sure, oh, I don't know what I did. I feel like if we touch bases on it twice and you did it a third time, right. At that point, it's up to you to determine that. So I try to be fair in that regard to that. And there's times where I know I might even be a bad friend. So I try to tell people like, hey, it came off a sermon, but that wasn't my intention. And I apologize right then and there. I tell my homies I love them. Regardless, you know, they be like, it ain't a homie I got right now that I ain't never hugged. Be like, bro, I love you, dog. Like, I'm talking like a hug. I'm not talking one of those like, Oh man, no, bro,
Yeah.
all love. So like in Vegas, teaching you how to regulate and be with your emotion, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let love be love. People be so scared of love. Open yourself up to it, but you can't open yourself up to it until you work on yourself.
Facts.
That's why you gotta go to therapy. I did therapy for a year. It's things that I still need to work on, of course, but it opened up a door to some knowledge that I never would have had prior to it.
Yeah.
As long as you go and people be like, I never do this and this and that. I mean, you ain't hurt nobody but yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to be a better person, put that work in to be a better person. Don't be one of those people, man, this person did this person did this person did that. Okay. You quick to tell everybody what that person did. What did you do?
Facts. Accountability.
Sit back, acknowledge what you've done. Even if you don't say, sometimes you can't even say sorry to the people, but at least acknowledge that, yeah, that was pretty shitty of me.
Right.
That's all it really takes. And if you can hold yourself accountable, it kind of gives you a defense mechanism for when you're talking.
Yeah.
And that defense mechanism also stops you from getting walked over so easily, which is another thing I had to learn from because I was just a little too nice.
Yeah.
Put me into a situation I didn't really want to be in. So it's a learning process, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I derailed from that whole initial question.
You're good.
But
you're good. I got a follow up for that. 2 things plus a question, so I don't have to ask it later. First thing, it sounds like you found purpose in Vegas. Secondly, I want to say congrats to your growth as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that you just mentioned is what people learn through time and through dealing with things. You know what I'm saying? Through dealing with their unboxing themselves and getting to, who they are as a person. So I want to say congrats to you as a man for that. 1, 2, again, this is additional, but shout out to going to therapy because most people don't talk about it. Most people don't talk about it. And then the question, so I don't have to ask it later, what between that gap of that relationship and you learning about yourself and all the things that you just touched to where you are now, what would you say is a few of the biggest life lessons you learned?
The biggest life lesson that I learned is that it is very easy to put yourself in a place of being a victim in every situation. And until you realize that you put yourself in that situation, you will never move through anything.
Yeah.
Like, when me and my ex weren't together more, all I could think about is like, oh, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. And, after going to therapy, I sat back and was like, damn, I could have did that better. I should have did this. I shouldn't have been so quick to do this. I shouldn't have been so late to do that. And, it's just all about reflecting. So that is the biggest thing that whole thing taught me is take time to reflect. And sometimes reflecting only can last for a minute. It can last for an hour. It can last for some weeks. It can last for some years. I'm still reflecting. I'm always going to be reflecting. I could think of a conversation I had 2 weeks ago and be like, man, that was real weird when I said that, man. I could have did that. And then it spiraled down from there. It's like, dang, I said something to somebody like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I could have probably worded that better. And, people that follow me on Instagram, I post questions all the time. I ask people like, how do you feel about going back to tell somebody you wronged? Sorry. And, it puts me, I come into two different avenues in that. It's the one avenue where it's like,
forget them.
No, not even that. Not even that surprisingly. It's the attitude I have where it's like, all right, I'm gonna go back and tell them sorry. But am I doing this in hopes that they forgive me, or am I doing this in hopes that they take it as a sign of respect and maturity? And then there's the other one where it's like, all right, do I say something to you? But then let's say you moved on from it. Let's say I really hurt you and I didn't know that I hurt you as bad as I hurt you. I come back bringing it up, and now something that you had put behind is now resurfaced. And I put myself in that situation. I'm like, either way it goes, I'm going to lose. And that's why publicly I acknowledge that I've not always been the best. I'm not going to go back to those people and message them and tell them, hey, such and such, because you've moved on from it at some point, I'm assuming. I may not necessarily moved on from it because I'm just not thinking about it due to reflecting. So I don't want to open up no hurt, but I also don't want you to take me out of misconstruction. I did do it recently to somebody, and luckily she took it how I wanted her to. Yeah. And we never had no bad blood. I just wanted to take that time to say that. But in today's world, sometimes you can't really do that because then next thing you know, now you a screenshot. Right. Now you going viral. Look at this sorry ad. It's like, man, I guess whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't really pay the internet too much attention, man.
Yeah, but that's so true though.
Yeah, I don't give it into it because as long as I know the intention behind what I said is what it was, if they don't take it that way, people, this all goes into like that whole victim thing. People feel entitled. Like, oh, I said sorry, so they should do this. Just because you said sorry don't mean they got to be like, oh yeah, I forgive you. They can still hate you. They can despise you.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you said something is where you should take pride in yourself, not try to take the situation and make it work in your favor. So at that point, you only saying sorry because you hoping for a better outcome instead of saying sorry because you know you've done wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that, man. I completely feel that. And from my own personal experience, I can say it is, you'd be surprised how well people take and a heartfelt apology when you actually mean it, when you deliver it to them. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was in this, it was a Landmark. This thing in Michigan. And they were, basically it was unpacking a lot of why you look at life the way you look at life. So I had a lot of things that happened in the past and stuff like that. And as they were going through it, basically a big portion of it was you learning that it is your fault why certain things went the way it went. And through that conversation, I remember calling so many different people up, from my mom even to other family members, friends, and just like, hey, you remember that situation that happened during this time? Yeah, this was actually my fault. I was feeling X, Y, and Z about this, and I don't know how you're going to take this, but, my bad, or I'm sorry, or whatever the case was. And honestly, man, a lot of people took it very, very well. I was expecting maybe, and the craziest part of it, it's the weirdest feeling you get when you actually let that information go and you're talking to the person who you wronged. You know what I'm saying? You get such a light air to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that it can be selfish if you do it in a selfish way, but you don't know what you did to that person and how they felt about you because of that, and how they think about you and your name and their image of you. It can actually hurt you in the long run if you're not willing to go to that person and just say, hey, my bad, and you'd be surprised how it's just like, oh, I looked at it that way. And some people was like, I didn't look at it that way, but I'm glad you said this because I felt this way about you. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of is that difference. But before I transition into,
shout out to you for doing that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. To putting a pin in Vegas before we get back to you coming back to Michigan, you said that school had kind of fell apart for you, that degree. What was that experience like, and why did it fall apart?
It fell apart because the people that own Full Sail are pieces of shit. And I will say that loud with my chest.
Yeah.
From what I remember, they got caught embezzling money, right? And from that, they filed for bankruptcy. You file for bankruptcy, that means I can't come claim my money. Wow. So you shutting down schools, and we found out on a random Thursday or something.
Wow.
We leave school, come back, we can't get any chains on the door. What the hell? Exactly, and that's why we didn't even know they were shutting down. By the time they announced it was shutting down, it was really no warning from it. And at the time, the professors, they fucked us over more than the owners of Full Sail. I mean, not Full Sail, I'm sorry. Full Sail, I love y'all. I did not mean that. Our institute, they fucked us over more. The professor's like, oh, we're going to save the school. Okay, I'm with that. I was on the news. I was in front of the news telling people, we standing strong. We getting it. I was sending out, what is it called when you get signatures?
Subpoenas? Not subpoenas. It's such a simple word.
Yeah,
it's such a simple word.
Yeah, I can't think of that word, but
it's such a simple word.
Them supporting it, oh, we don't want to shut down our institute. So the professors are doing whatever they want to do to keep everything going.
What is that word?
It's bothering me to it, but it's gonna hit at some point.
Yeah.
And they so the government's like, okay, make sure you record everything. Don't bring in no new students, or whatever. Long story short, they did complete opposite of what the government told them not to do. And the result ended up them closing down anyway. Our last sliver of hope was shot down twice.
Wow.
By, I don't know what the owners were doing the first time. Them professors or whoever that was a part of that. Y'all hold us.
Yeah.
Y'all hold us something crazy.
Yeah.
And if the stuff was like that, some people couldn't even get their stuff out of the school.
Wow.
Because there's chains on it.
Wow.
They're not going to open up the chains and let you come just get your stuff.
Right. That's diabolical.
Yeah. So with all that happened, it's you got me on the news supporting this, and I'm, because people, when the news, they couldn't get into the school. So when they found me, they talked to me. And when people found out, it was like, hey, you got to make us look as good as possible.
Petitions,
yes. Yeah. Send the petitions out virtually. That's what it was. And I'm out there on the front run just to find out y'all, everything that we trying to do to help y'all was not listening to the regulations that they put on y'all.
Wow.
Hold us.
Wow.
So
that's terrible. And rightfully so, you then despised art afterwards.
Oh, definitely despised art.
What was that process like? Was it just everything I've worked for is useless, or was it I'm gonna come back to this, or was it I'm just done?
Oh, I was done. I was done. The whole point of me going out there is because I wanted to work on 3D models and games. The school didn't give you any like, they gave you an art.
Wow.
So they give you a suitcase and it has art supplies in it, but that doesn't really help if I'm trying to do something that's 3D. You give me traditional stuff, it's not going to help me. Yeah. And that's what that was. It's like, you didn't really set me up for success for real, honestly. Because if you knew what we was going to be getting into, why didn't you offer like subscriptions to such and such? Offer a laptop. And as much as the tuition for Art Institute was $98,000. Wow. $98,000. Yeah. I didn't have to pay all that $98,000. Actually, shout out to Biden for even forgiving that loan because I don't got to pay the Art Institute nothing now. I still owe the money. Nice. Well, I shouldn't say shout out to Biden. Shout out to the administration that did it. Because I'm not siding with no politician. I'm not siding with none of them. So shout out to the administration for doing that is what I will leave it at.
That was a justice to you. And it wasn't even just about the money. I mean, you put your life on the line when you left Michigan to go there. So it was more than just the money. It was the time, the energy, what felt wasted. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And from there, I'm assuming that's when you got into the technology field at Ingram Micro. Was it 2017?
Yeah, I started there in 2017.
If you don't mind me asking, man, what are the misconceptions about the technology field?
I wasn't too heavy in the tech. It was just more in the sense that like I was just quality assurance of it in a sense. Just so a lot of misconceptions is that bugs can just come up randomly, even if you test it for it, thinking because a manual test is that, oh, if I click this button and this happens, then I document it. But when I click this button, this should happen. So it's just you doing, crossing your T's, dotting your I's. Honestly, is what I was doing. I wasn't too heavy in the tech, but I came from a tech family with computers. So I kind of already knew a little bit of something. Yeah. And I was considering myself a nerd. I like the latest and the greatest. I like looking at reviews and stuff like that. So that's kind of related to that part.
So what was a typical day like for you at that point?
So at that point when I had got that position, actually I loved my hours. It was amazing. I would only work 4 days out the warehouse.
Oh my God.
I would save the Friday to work from home.
Yeah. And was that before COVID? You were working from home before COVID?
No, this is after COVID.
After COVID.
Okay. A little bit before COVID, after COVID, because I worked there from 2017 to 2021.
Nice. Okay.
So I did a little bit of everything with that, and I don't know. I would just show up. I would get there earlier, so I wouldn't have to be in traffic. Yeah. Working there before all the other engineers would get there. We would sit in the back, work, talk, and then I would go home before everybody else, and they'd be like, "Well, that doesn't even make any sense." I'm like, "Well, I started working before you, so I don't know what to tell you, buddy." Yeah. Right. So that's kind of how that was. And then I would go home and whatever I had planned for the day, I would just go do that. It was good. And then I got moved back into warehouse work and still was good because I got off at 2:30. So I was on work from 6 a.m. to 2:30. So I was like, either way it went, I really wasn't complaining. And I was running, shipping, and receiving. So, and then like I had to go in there and be on the line or nothing like that. I just had to load a truck up. Yeah. That job was relatively easy.
Yeah.
So
I would say that's probably the biggest misconception right there is that it is harder than it seems.
Oh,
because I always feel like whenever somebody's like, I work in tech, logistics, shipping and receiving, I'm always like, oh man, you must deal with it like a lot on a daily basis. Like you probably work 12 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
What?
Nah. Only some of them. So, I mean, dealing with operations is where logistics is tied into. You got them jobs that's like, oh, you need to work this, and this. I'm gonna tell you right now. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not working no job that's offering me no whack ass hours either. I don't care how much you're talking. If you gonna have me working from 10 a.m. to 7, that's booty. Yeah, that's booty. Yeah, and you got to count for the time for your commute, which means you got to count for the time to wake up and the time that you going from your house, bro. So let's say, for example, let's say you going out to Pontiac. All right, cool. Let's say you live like an hour away. Bro, if you got to be there at 10, that means you realistically, you got to get up around like 6 or 7. Yeah. Get ready, and then you're going from 8. By the time you do that drive out to come back home, it's like 8, almost 9. Yeah. I just spent my whole day gone. Yeah. To work for a company. Absolutely the fuck not. Yeah. Yeah. I would take a lower paying job because this is the thing about money, right? Even though film is my main bread and butter, I have to acknowledge the times we live in. You cannot just have one job and make ends meet anymore. It's not going to happen. So I have film, I have my normal job that I work Monday through Friday. I'm also planning a game tournament that's going to be running monthly too. So that's another stream of revenue right there. Yeah. And then my investments that I have through my brokerage account and stuff like that. So it's just, you got to have yourself set up. Like don't think just, I'm going to work that one job. If you, whatever life you desire is out there, and we already all got to work anyway. So you might as well just put in the extra work so you don't have to work like everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're doing it for you, it ain't really work. It's just you bettering yourself. Like anytime I'm doing anything to handle with film, I'm like, I've never been like, I got this gig, man. I'm like, hell yeah, I got this gig today, boy. Yeah. And like usually like sometimes like one of my clients, which is Gotaku, which is ran by Obi-Wan Shinobi himself. Shout out to them. They helped me out really good, helped me network with a lot of different people. And it's just, it's an amazing, man. It's meant to different clients I've had too. And it's just, man, put that work in for yourself, man. You'd be surprised what it leads to. The more gigs you get, and when you realize you're working for yourself, it's a good feeling. Yeah. But going to work and being like, you ever been at work and you be like, damn, I've been working for a good 6 hours. Like, you check the clock, you ain't been there for 20 minutes. You're like, damn. Yeah. And you in it, it's hot. Butt cheek sticky, you know what I'm saying? Somebody breath stank, you know what I'm saying? You annoyed because you want something from the vending machine. It's $3.80, but it usually costs you $1.20. Like it's just a lot of bullshit that go with like working at jobs, dude. And like I know it sounds so minuscule, but like it's so real. Like people that work know what I'm talking about. It's
absolutely. A lot of people can relate to it.
Like it's like the most minute thing. You be like, let me tell you something. You ever been at work, right? Shift just started. You already in this mode like, man, fuck this shit. You can see it on your face. You feel it on your face. Your face just feel heavy. Yeah. You got that one coworker that don't never want to be mad about nothing. They happy. Yeah. Hey, how are you? Bro, get the fuck out of my face. And you know what's crazy though? That's also a reflection moment too, because it's like, bro, get the fuck away from me. But at the same time, people like you are the reason that make people stay here, because everybody know that this job is shitty. So shout out to those people that like,
that was heavy.
Yeah, shout out to those people that they come into work and it's like, hey, how are you? The ones that really mean it though, not those bullshitters that's just trying to get information to get you in trouble. That's another thing that come with them damn jobs. Yeah. You ever watched the show Recess?
Recess. You talking about the old cartoon show?
Old cartoon. Remember the dude?
I never got into it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's a dude on there. I don't remember his name.
Didn't they have a fire theme song?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And this dude was he was just always snitching on the kids for recess.
Oh boy.
And every job has one of those. Don't be one of those. You're not getting paid to be a snitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and do you really? And what you now? If your life is in danger or people's life is in danger, that's not a snitch. That's just you making sure people's safety is intact, and I respect that. Yeah. But you caught somebody sitting down for 5 minutes, and you go tell the supervisor. It's like, you don't even know what this person did. This person got a different job from you. They might have just lifted 16 heavy things and needed a breather. Yeah. The supervisor could have probably already said it was okay.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, man.
You talking about the tryhards, like the?
It's not even a tryhard.
No, but like, the trying hard to get in good graces. Like, it's like almost as if you take your job a little bit too seriously.
Yes, and there ain't nothing wrong with having pride in your job, but have pride in your job. You don't need to be a hall monitor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you really want to come in here knowing everybody, and they walk proudly too, and it's like, bro, when you quitting? Yeah. You said you're not quitting? Let me go ahead and put them 2 weeks in. I'm out. I'm not about to deal with that shit. Right. So you can go with it. That's why I'm like, I've been a supervisor. I've also been a manager. And I never gave my employees that type of thing. Like the biggest thing that I always stood on, like your supervisor is a reflection of the company. But I didn't care about respecting the company. I cared about what I stood for. There was times I would get in trouble for doing something that I shouldn't have done, but I was like, no, I'm not following along with that stupid ass regulation. Yeah. And this person has a legit reason as to why they had to do X, Y, and Z. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And I don't know. I think like they went and it was like, oh, he's strict. I'm strict when it comes to you playing. No, like for example, we had a work meeting one time. This is back when I used to work. Actually, I'm not gonna say them because I don't like them. I'm not gonna put their name out there. When I was working there. The team we were talking, somebody asked a question. I would do these meetings every Wednesday where everybody gets to talk. Tell me what issues are we having? What do you need me to resolve? What can I do better for you? I would do this every Wednesday of each shift. And somebody asked a question. This lady goes, "That was a stupid ass question. Why'd you?" And I stopped the whole meeting. I said, What we're not about to do is that. Yeah. I said, you need to say that. She was like, I said, I don't care. Tell her you apologize and go from there. If not, we're gonna have to take it there. Yeah. And they didn't like that stuff like that, but it's like, you don't like it because you don't want in trouble, but if I was doing it for you, you would love it. Right. So that's just how I was as a supervisor. It's like, no, you gonna show respect. I don't care who it is. You can say something to me, but you're not going to disrespect your team members, because at the end of the day, you need your team members.
Right.
Facts. You don't need me. They can just put another person in here.
Yeah.
I'm just putting this in place so you know this is how I want the team to be.
Yeah.
You can be mad at each other all you want to. Y'all can talk, but as long as if you say something disrespectful, no.
Right.
I had a conversation without disrespecting each other.
Yeah.
And it was just more about like trying to do a good communication. I was trying to use that time to reflect to, okay, this is how I think. Let me instill this in somebody else. And if it works, then cool. If it doesn't, then maybe the way I'm thinking is stupid. And when I realized it was working, I just kind of hold everybody that, even if I'm working with somebody I know, if any of my friends, family members, say whatever you want to say to me, but don't disrespect somebody else in front of me that we all got to be cool with.
Right.
You can say whatever you want about me. I really don't care. Mm-hmm. If you feel that type of way, then stop talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to really, when you realize that people's words are opinions and not facts, they don't hold any merit to your life.
Yeah.
So just cut that shit off.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I'm sure the people that were working there under you at the time, I'm sure they loved you.
Oh yeah, I'm still cool with 2 of them actually to this day. And like he'll tell me every now and then, dog, I miss working with you. I'm like, no, dog. I was like, but it was interfering with my my schooling. I was working midnights, man. I was working 3 to 11:30, and sometimes I wouldn't even get off until like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And the degree I'm going for is a digital cinematography, so I need to shoot, which means I need to have other people to shoot. If I'm at work when people are free, I can't shoot.
Yeah.
So it was more like step away from the money or face your dreams, and I stepped away from the money, went to the dream.
And you shouldn't feel bad about it in no way, shape, or form.
Oh, I don't.
Because following your purpose is following your purpose, but being a good leader is being a good leader, and that's what it sounds like you were when you were in those roles of management. Is that you were a good leader? You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, that's what people want to show up to work for. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to work for somebody that's constantly scrutinizing you or constantly checking over you, constantly being over you, treating you like a child more so than the adult that you are, that's capable of making good decisions and still getting your work done. However, you will also at the same time call out people when they weren't doing what they were supposed to do or being flagrant to other employees that was there working under you. You're just being a good leader. But talk about that time period in Vegas, man. Working at Ingram Micro, and then at the same time, COVID hits, and that shut the whole world down. You also were nowhere near family at that time period. Everybody was here back in Michigan. Talk about how you got through that time period.
So the COVID time period was actually pretty bearable for me in a sense, but unbearable. The woman I was dating at the time, we was living together, so she wasn't going to work, but I was. So we ended up getting a cat throughout that whole thing. They had a new little person to the family and everything. We were still like, let's be real, like families would still see each other. They just want to go out to other places. Like people would typically like we would go over her mom or dad house and stuff like that. And if anybody got sick, we all took care of each other, like send some. But I never got sick there in Vegas. Not once after doing all that. Surprisingly, never once got sick in Vegas. And I don't know. I would still have to go to work because I was considered an elite employee. But So going to that was where like job giving us these little flyers saying like, oh, you were at work at this time. That's why you're out driving, because Vegas was tripping heavy during COVID. And I don't know. But I also had a heart problem during COVID too. So that led to a whole bunch of stuff. But luckily, I don't have that problem no more. So shout out to that medicine that I got, because it wasn't Western medicine that helped me either. That's the crazy part, because they couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Yeah. Was the state more opened up than Michigan at that time period? Wasn't there less?
It was open but closed at the same time. So like it went from, oh, you could have 30 people in here to like, nah, we can only have like a good 12 of y'all, and y'all gonna be spaced out.
Gotcha.
So you got that. But it was weird though. Like living in a touristic place that's usually always awake to a ghost town was crazy. But man, the traffic was amazing. No traffic, dude. I was in that mug coasting.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah,
that was the good thing about COVID was, all y'all at home. Oh, man, I'm about to float this boy.
Yeah.
So I loved it. Yeah, that part.
What did being before I transition into Archway Marketing, you coming back to Michigan, what did being in Vegas and even Ingram Micro teach you about life?
That no matter how hard you prepare and set yourself up for success, you can always be knocked down easily off your pedestal. I got a role there working with them, and they was like, oh, the training not going how we want it. We're going to demote you back down. Took my pay, all of that. And I was up. I remember I just bought a house too. I was doing good.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That was a very stressful moment. And
wow.
But hey, some money better than no money. And I made stuff happen to what it was. And next thing you know, when I got demoted, the gym was like, nah, we're gonna give you some more money. I can't get you what you was making, but I can get you some more money.
Yeah.
And he looked out for me. So it's like, don't ever get comfortable on a pedestal. Oh, that was a bar. But get comfortable on a pedestal because you can easily be knocked off of it about the smallest thing that you don't see coming. Like people usually try to anticipate like, oh, this could go wrong and this could go wrong. The one thing you didn't anticipate ended up being the thing that you didn't see, which goes to shows no matter what type of preparing you do, no matter how confident you are, you can still be knocked down. I've had to start over my life like 5 times, dog.
Yeah.
And I'm only 25.
Yeah.
So, it's either you take the blows and start again or you take the blows and give up. But I live by a quote that I tell all my friends. It is always easy to quit because it takes effort to try.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are trying means that you are successful. And I tell all my friends that regardless of what they're going through, you are better than you were yesterday. You have made progress. Acknowledge that win for what it is. Yeah. And I don't know. It's just what I use to get by.
Gyms.
Yeah.
Getting 1% better every day is better than getting 0% better every day. And most people get 0% better every day.
Exactly.
Like you getting 1% better every day over the course of 365 days is a drastic transformation in who you are as an individual and what your life is. So like I completely feel that.
Life is also weird too because like you could be like, I'm going, and then it stays. And then it flatlines. And they can flatline for years. And then something spikes back up, and it's like, we there? I'm going to go back down. Spike up again. Oh, we there? Going back down. Spiking up. Hey, it's going pretty good. But you're going to come down a little bit because life going to still throw something at you. So it's really just about, like, don't look at success being this way. Look at success going.
It's the proverbial quote of you can't control anything.
Yeah. But honestly, it's a cycle. Yeah. It's a cycle. It's
100%.
Like you can make it to the top and still get knocked down. Like look at Drake.
I was just
look at Drake, dude. Like this dude is one of the most successful artists we've ever known,
bro.
And he's getting snatched off his pedestal right now. Man, I bet you didn't see that coming.
Not by Kendrick.
No, he probably definitely didn't see that coming.
But, we didn't see that coming.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show that you can only stay on a pedestal for so long because the cycle is going to continue. Yeah, you may be able to. Certain stuff can stay the same, but it's never going to be 100% the same either.
Facts. So look at J. Cole in that same analogy. When he apologized, everybody said, "Oh my God, this guy can't. You guys can never be back." And 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, he's looking like one of the smartest people.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh man, rappers. I'm sorry to him."
Yeah,
it's like that just goes to show though. Everybody words is just opinions, and they hold no weight unless you give it to them.
Yeah, facts. Jim.
So just live by it.
Yeah, Jim, man, gyms. I gotta say too. It is as you said something very crucial when you said don't get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's a lot of the simple sayings in life are so powerful when you look at them in hindsight after something happens, and you kind of realize like it is when you get comfortable that the shift usually happens.
Yep.
Just when you think everything is okay is when boom, your world falls apart. Yep. So you kind of learn to live with like an air of again, not sound so simple, but just going with the flow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So now transitioning into also at that time period when were you feeling like the same feelings of like, oh, I want to get back into art, or were you still like I'm done with art, period?
At what point? I'm sorry.
During that COVID time working at Ingram Micro, were you like I'm good on art, or were you kind of having
I started doing art again towards like back in 2000 and
couldn't shake it.
Yeah, it ended up coming back to me, especially like having all that time. I don't know, I was just like, man, I want to create something, and
yeah,
it's like I said, it's a cycle. I tried to fight it, but it's who I am. I'm an artistic person. Like I can't just cut that part of me out. Yeah, that means I'm erasing half my character.
Yeah, that's crazy. You look at it that way. So now coming back to Michigan, Archway Marketing. First, before we even get into Archway, you spent 3 years in Vegas.
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years in Vegas. Yeah. Coming back to Michigan, that had to be a whole new world.
Oh, it definitely was a whole new world. I was coming back from Vegas defeated. I was not doing the best mentally at all. Like I held it together pretty good. And
what brought you back too? I don't think we ever talked about that.
The relationship just didn't go what it was supposed to go, and I decided that I let her keep everything, and I just walk away and go back home. And I figured, give myself another start and let it be what it is. And making that decision wasn't necessarily easy. I mean, I walked away. Sure. I was at movie festival. I was making connections I was looking for and everything that I wanted, which means all that stuff I just worked for, I had to walk away from. And when I did that and came back to Michigan, I was like, I'm a failure. I am an absolute failure. It's not a day that, well, I ain't gonna say day. It's not a week that goes by, or maybe let's say a month that goes by, but I don't ever think about that because I'm like, man, that shit really was not it, man. Came back, had to be with my mom in them house. Went from having my own house, man, to have to stay in a room. And here I am working some rinky-dinky ass job. The hours is booty. Working 10 to 8. They talking about on Fridays, it ain't guaranteed you get off at 8. Slaving around through here. Somebody threatened to kill me at not at Archway. I'm sorry. This is before I got to Archway. This is before I got to Archway. You know, just dealing with stuff like that. I'm like, bro, dog, what's going on, bro? And, you know, I stuck with therapy. You know, people was pushing me, like, make sure you keep going. And it changed my perspective on everything. And then that's when I was like, oh, I guess I should look into school again, I guess.
Yeah.
And then that's when I finally came across Full Sail, and I was like, all right, now I just got to get prepared and ready for that. And that's what led me to Archway Marketing when I was working for them.
I'm definitely gonna touch back on that film festival time that you had in Vegas when I transitioned into film, the topic of film, but marketing now and marketing. What's the biggest misconceptions of being there?
That shit booty.
Really, it's not fun. Not creative.
Like the job I was working wasn't even like marketing.
Really?
So they had marketing in their name, but boy, they weren't doing no marketing in that motherfucker when I was there. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And I was an operations coordinator, which means I was in charge of when a job ran, how long it would take, how much money is going to cost the client, what's the fastest I can get this product to the client if I ran across any issues. That's what I was doing there, and it was a smooth job. I'm not gonna lie, I was just pretty good, but it led to a layoff because they had budget cuts. My position got terminated, so I ended up leaving them. So I was like, damn, here we go back again and screwed again. Yeah. I just had a good setup and I just lost everything again. Damn, there go all my money.
Right.
And then right after that, after I got laid off, no, I'm sorry, before I even got laid off, it was 3 days before I got laid off, I got into a car accident. Somebody hit me. I was driving on Telegraph late at night. Bro, this dude, I'm not going to say his name, but he jumps out in front of my car wearing all black on a bike. Boom, make contact. I tried to swerve, hit this man at 50 miles per hour. He's getting up off the floor, man. And I'm like, hey, I don't think you should be moving. This whole moment, it feels like time is frozen. Like,
I bet.
And in my mind, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I hopped out the car immediately. Like, I didn't even think, like, oh, he's dead. I just hopped out the car and ran to him. And, you know, he's perfectly fine, though. Yeah, like, he's perfectly fine. This is a red flag. Keep this in mind. This part of the story right now is a red flag. I'm just putting you hip right now.
Got you.
I'm helping him, and I'm like, I don't think you should be getting up off the floor. I think we should just sit here.
Yeah.
But he's persistent to get up anyway. And he's like, no, I'm going to get up. Like, he's talking perfectly fine. I'm like, the fuck is this? So I'm helping him. His arm is around my neck right here.
Yeah.
And as we're walking, I'm trying to hold him up. Because now I'm like, okay, you're not as strong as I thought you were.
Yeah.
And I feel my neck getting squoze. And I'm like, what the So I pushed him. Pushed dude off of me.
Okay.
He reaches into his pocket.
No.
In the middle of the street after this accident. And he says, I got something for you. Reaches in his pockets. Stuff is falling out of his pockets. And all I said was, don't miss. And as soon as I said, don't miss, the police pulled up. So at this point now, we can figure out he's on some type of drug.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm balling. And I'm balling because now reality is hitting me. It's like, I just hit this dude. I just hit a man at 50 miles per hour. And as a black man hitting a white guy, I was petrified because I was like, oh, it's over.
You're immediately the suspect.
Yeah, immediately. But the police was like, nah, this dude is on drugs. The Brownstown Police Department looked out for me. I appreciate them.
Yeah.
They was like, man, you know, it's okay. It's okay. My mom came and got me. Went back there. I was told for a minute. I got the police report. Dude, when he said reach in his pocket, the dude had 2 knives on him. That dude was about to try to kill me.
I bet. Yeah.
He was high on drugs. He was about to, for some reason, I don't know why, he wanted to kill me. His attempt was going to be to kill me. And we had to go to a court hearing where I thought I was going to get some money. I didn't get anything out of this court hearing.
Yeah.
And somehow all he got was a slap on the wrist.
Wow.
And that's what happened. And then right after, so the court case happened after Archway. But imagine that happening and then you take off from your job like, hey, I was like, I need at least like, I took Friday off until Monday off. Like I was fucked up. I
bet. And
I sent them the picture. It was like, I'm not in a headspace to be at work.
Yeah.
Come back in, they smiling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me some papers to lay me off.
Wow.
Did all that for what? You hold me.
Yeah.
And then I went to the next job. which was the hospital. I ain't gonna say what name of the hospital. I worked at the hospital. Wasn't working with school hours. Fast forward to the job where they offer me a manager role. Cool. I'm in this manager role doing what I got to do. Boom, boom, boom. They give you the whole speech. You know, we feel like you're a good spirit, but like we feel like you're not really dedicated to the job. Like you don't want to work night shifts and day shifts. Absolutely the fuck not. No, I don't want to work both of those. If I'm already managing 3 buildings, why would I want to work on a night shift? For what?
Right.
They laid me off again. So here I am again. I got laid off in December of last year.
Wow.
I was laid off up until 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
So for 5-6 months, I was just like, dog, I got to figure something out. Don't know how I survived that long at all, bro. I was doing door dashing. I started taking my business more serious. I was like, I'm gonna start doing gigs. Went from me not making no money to now I got monthly clients. Okay. I got a little bit of money coming from this. All right, DoorDash gonna help supply for this a little bit more. I got my investments that I've been building on. I'm gonna use that money too. Taxes coming in. I'm gonna use that money too. Somehow, I had, even though everything had been stripped away from me, everything came back into it. And like that shit, boy, that layoff hurt. Layoff hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So,
but it took you to higher places.
It definitely took me to higher places. It's led to me getting clients. Like some of the clients I have is, like I mentioned before, Gotaku. Love them. They do anime parties.
Yeah.
Born Otaku. They do anime theme nights where like people debate. I work with them.
Yeah.
We Touch Grass. They're anime rave that go on tour every year out of the country, inside the country.
Yeah.
That's another client.
Yeah.
The fourth one is called Living Toxic. They have a clothing brand. He comes to me for stuff too. Wow. So it's just, it went from, man, I'm just in school for this to like, oh, I actually have a business for this now. Like, so it's like, all them other jobs led to some bullshit. And that go back to like, make sure you got whole different avenues of money, because if you lose, you don't want all your money coming from one spot, because if you lose that, you're cooked. Yeah. So, you know, that was just a big learning lesson for me in general. A horrible 5 months for sure.
Yeah, no, man, but I think through listening to what I've heard about your story, and obviously I'm going to touch more into it, you are the definition of, it's more about the journey than it is the destination. It seems like a lot of these were destination points for you, but what you learned before you got to the destination was actually what carried you forward, you know, in your journey. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say much respect there.
Thank you so much.
And kind of going back to Archway marketing, what was some of the biggest thing you learned during that time point? And now I'm not going to focus so much on Archway marketing, but on about your life. What was some of the biggest things you learned during that time period?
During the time period working at Archway?
Yeah, just that whole time period of your life.
I don't know. I fell into that deadly trap of getting comfortable.
Really?
I got comfortable. Really? I was like, this job is pretty good. I was like, they're paying me pretty good. I don't got to work the weekends. I wasn't doing anything else, but I'm a type of person that's always like, I want more. Not because I'm greedy, but because what this is not fulfilling me. It's kind of like, think about, it's kind of similar to like, man, I'm eating, but this stuff isn't filling me up. And that's how I apply a lot of stuff in my life. Like, people be like, oh man, I can't believe you did this. I'm like, yeah, but what's next?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did that already. What's next?
Yeah.
Like, people was like, I can't believe you bought a house at 23. Okay, but what's next? Like, that was literally my initial moment after that. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Like, what I'm supposed to just be comfortable with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's basically what that was. Got comfortable with her, bro. And they showed me right then and there. I was like, I need to start figuring something out. But the idea was there, but the light wasn't on for it yet, which led to everything else. But when I started doing stuff for school, and it was like, Full Sail, shout out to Full Sail, because part of doing a degree online, it's a 2-year degree instead of 4 years, but it's a bachelor's. Yeah. So it's an accelerated program for your degree, it's a Bachelor of Science. Yeah. And
I want to say this, if you are listening to this part of the conversation, the school he was talking about before when he was saying F them was the Art Institute.
The Art Institute, yes.
Got you.
Full Sail is amazing. Fuck the Art Institute.
Yeah. All right, back to regularly scheduled program.
And so with doing it online, you know, they send you your equipment, but like, you're your boss. You have to go out and make these, whatever they're telling you need to do, figure it out and how to do it. And when it came to that, and I started to realize I had to talk to people to do this, I was like, if I get good in this, I could probably start making movies for real. Like, I initially wanted to do it because I was like, man, I want to bring other people's ideas to life. And then I was like, I could bring some of my stuff to light. And it just led to that, dude. So everything was a learning lesson for sure.
Yeah. So transitioning now, I'm going to go back to the Vegas part because now I'm going to touch the topic of film. And I can't wait for this, obviously, because that has turned into your life now. And it's such a big inspiration for your life. Going back to the film festival where you were kind of talking about that time period and you were networking there, what did you learn during that specific time period? And how important is going to the film festival for those who do not understand the importance of going to a film festival and marketing yourself?
So the thing about film festivals where I didn't even know about into it, like a lot of people be thinking, oh man, you must be knowing what you're doing. Dude, I just tried it and the shit worked. That's honestly what happened. Like the whole film festival thing, dude, I found that on accident. I didn't even find it on purpose. I was just like,
yeah, I swear, I wish we could go back in time and ask a lot of artists that exact question. I was just trying things and it worked.
Bro, honestly, yeah. And then the lady was like, oh, you can do this. And then I got cool. It was a family-owned thing. I ain't gonna put their names out there, but they were known in the film industry. And so it was his event. And also, you know, RIP to them. If y'all happen to listen to this, you know, shout out to y'all for still carrying on after he's passed. And then it was like, hey, man, you pretty good, man. Hey, we're going to give you your own necklace. If you're willing to help us, you know, do whatever you want to do. Say, what? Okay. So then I came back the next day. They say, I was like, can I get one of those badges? And on the badge, you can write your name and what you do. And then from there, I would go to the red carpets where they had the celebrities and stuff at. That's where I met Michael J. White. I seen James Franco. I met producers. I met directors. I met videographers, filmmakers, all kinds of things. Yeah. I got asked to attend viewings of movies without paying. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And the thing about the film festival is, like, if you're looking to do it, it's a good chance to try to get your name to somebody. Like, you could talk to 100 people. You don't need 100 people to remember it. In that area that you at, you just need one person to remember it. Because think of it as a domino. When a domino falls, everything else connected to it just falls slowly. So if you got 100 dominoes, 100 dominoes can't all fall together. Yeah. Only one of them boys gonna latch on. That's all you need. Yeah. To create your path. Think of it as like Snake Way from Dragon. Oh, sorry, you're not anime. It's Snake,
I'm sure somebody.
Yeah. Think of it as Snake Way from Dragon Ball Z. You're gonna keep running until you get to the end, and that's when you like, oh, I finally did it, and that's what that is. And so, you put whatever you want on there. You're already there for free. You're not paying for these viewings. These people have to talk to you because you work in an event. So these people that you're like, oh, that person's famous, they have to come talk to you because they have to come get their stuff. Yeah. And then you kind of want to introduce yourself. Like, I tell my buddy this all the time. Like, when I network, I don't try to network as in, oh, I want you as a client. I try to network as in, like, oh, build a bond. Like, if you do a call center job, what do they tell you? You know, you want to build that bond with the customer. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Right. And from there, you know, it sounds bullshit when they say it, and it's like, boy, I ain't trying to hear this shit, but it really does wonders.
It does.
And it went from, like, for example, at Gotaku, when I did We Touch Grass, that's my first event that I did for anything related to film. They started me off my career, gave me my first big chance. I met a DJ there, which is Obi-Wan Shinobi, and I sent him some footage, and then I saw he was going to be coming into Stutter Like a Mug, to Detroit every month. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm trying to build my portfolio. I was like, I'm not going to even charge you. Would you be okay with me just shooting your stuff for free? Yeah. And then he was like, yo, yeah. And went from that to, you know, shooting for free to now I get paid for them. And shout out to him for looking out for me before I was laid out. But you know what I'm saying? Everything, that domino fell. Think about it. If I was like, man, this domino only fell for this one, but it didn't fall for nothing else. If I wasn't appreciative of the moment that I got right in there, it would have never led me to Obi, which would have never led me to my other clients that I got off of that as well. So it's just things that you think don't correlate. You might not be able to see the vision as it's happening, but give it time to manifest and fester, and then you'll see the vision truly. Just like a film. You think of an idea and you write it down, and poof, now it's there. It's the same exact process. So go in there. Don't go in there to a movie festival. I'm just a worker. No, go in there. Whatever you trying to bring to industry for, you go in there talking your shit for that. Yeah. At the time, I was like, I'm a 3D artist. I do animations. They was like, oh, for real? Wow. We had a film festival. Ain't nobody expecting you to say something about no 3D, but it's all about how you present. If you say like, yeah, man, I do 3D work.
Confidence is key.
Boy, that's I'm gonna be like, boy, you booty. Get away from me. You don't even sound happy about what you're telling me. I don't want to hear it. So, you know, just build that bond and make them feel comfortable. Don't look at them as a superstar. Like, no disrespect to any celebrity. I ain't a fan of none of you. I respect your work and I like your work, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I need to do updates. Bro, I don't even have like no actual celebrities on any of my accounts like that I follow. Because that's not my reality I live in. I don't care about a snapshot and this person that's already successful life. I care about people that's already doing it. People that maybe like cosplayers and stuff like that. Because I can work with them for stuff, you know, they can help me find more clientele and stuff like that. And it's just,
you want to have authentic interaction.
Yeah, I want it to be authentic. I don't want everything to feel like it's like
you're not saying you don't like celebrities. What you're saying
I'm saying is
if I have an authentic interaction with somebody, that's more important than me saying I have 10 celebrities in my Rolodex.
Exactly. Or just even having them up there, like, you know, with social media, whatever you allow yourself to soak in is what you're gonna become. If you all you're looking at is all these people that's rich, and you start to question comparisons to thief of joy, you start saying, man, they got this and they got that. And the bad part is these celebrities be like our age, so that's really what's hitting you right now.
Facts.
But they had different opportunities than what you had, and all you seeing is a snapshot. This person could owe $60,000, $60 million. You never know. Are you seeing these cars and stuff? Are they doing good? Bro, follow people that's doing the same thing. Whatever you want in the world is who you surround yourself with. So follow successful people. Follow people you genuinely like.
Yeah.
Don't just get followers. Just be like, oh, I got these followers. Like, I only got 400 and some followers. And every night I post on my story like a questionnaire just to get people to comment on it. Like, why do you do those? Because I actually like talking to y'all.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love talking to my followers. I love talking to people that I do follow. I don't ever want to put myself on a pedestal where it's like, I got this many people, I'm not talking to you. I've come across those people. I don't want to be like y'all.
Yeah.
It's been a couple times where I had to regulate people like, I don't know who the hell you talking to.
Yeah.
Like I had no shit, dude. I was doing an event one time and I was shooting for the main client and I said, hey, I can get some footage of you. This person gonna tell me how to hold the camera and do everything. I said, and you need to shoot me like this. I said, whoa. I know you're not barking orders.
Yeah.
And you talking shit because this person had a big following. I'm like, oh, you got me fucked up, buddy.
Yeah.
So you come across a lot of people like that. You know, you heard us talking about it earlier where it's like the people that you got to worry about don't be the people that's in the industry. It's the people that's doing the same thing as you. And you come across a lot of those people, especially like I love my city, man, but it's a nice amount of y'all, man. And y'all know who y'all are. Y'all be thinking because y'all got certain celebrities on your portfolio and all this other stuff, it makes you a celebrity and you're really not. And regardless if you are a celebrity, you still a human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You walking around acting like we peons. Yeah. Or, man, I done had somebody message me before saying, like, they posted a thing, oh, we need an extra camera. I'm like, all right, cool, let me go there. Oh, we thinking at 6 and you be here at 6? This is at 4 o'clock. Bet I can be there.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, I don't hear nothing from him. I'm like, all right, maybe something happened shooting. He says, oh, my bad, dog. Keep in mind, I'm supposed to have a meet with this dude prior to this.
Yeah.
Never had to meet neither. And he goes and he says, oh, my bad, man. It slipped up. Can you do 7:30? I'm like, well, it's already 6:30, but I guess. Dude flakes on me, doesn't say anything.
Wow.
I'm like, so you hold me on a meeting that you said you would have with me.
Yeah.
You hold me on an event that you said you was going to bring me on back to back the same night.
Yeah.
You didn't care enough about me to respect my time and respond to me, but you got all these celebrities on your stuff and you constantly with them posting, oh, da. It's like, bro, if you in it for the love of it, then you're not going to be like that. I'm not saying you got to talk to everybody, but don't treat somebody as if they a peon. Like, man, it could be somebody that's a janitor. It could be somebody that's a CEO. I'm gonna give you the same attention. Even if I'm at a job. Oh, don't say such and such as he. Oh, he right there. Who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
I don't care. Why should I care?
Yeah.
You think because you got a title? Oh, I've never been one of those people.
Right.
I could be standing next to the president and would not give a damn.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people in the industry not like that. From what I've been noticing, I've had ideas for stuff. I'm a one-man team. I can't do everything by myself.
Yeah. And
it makes it harder to do film. And it's honestly, I've even had contemplations where I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this no more. Because it's like, ain't nobody really trying to do it for real. And like people say like, oh, I'm down. And I appreciate the support all the time. But like there's a difference between people saying they're down versus people that's down and actually know what they're talking about.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't teach you why I'm trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? Unless we doing something for fun, then yeah. But like the stuff I'm trying to do is I want the quality to be good. I want the audio to be good. I want the camera to be stable. I need to know what f-stop we're using, what shutter speed we're using. Are you shooting an S-Log? Are we using a base setting? You know, it's all kinds of stuff like that. And it's like I can't give you all that on the fly. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things where it's like if you know a little bit, then we can play off of it. But if you know nothing, I can't teach you everything at that given moment.
Right.
Or like you'll have people that be like, oh yeah, I want to help. And then they'd be like, I'll be like, okay, like me personally, I'll be like, hey, if it's something you really trying to be serious about, I always ask them, like, you got a portfolio? Like, for example, I have a portfolio site. You can see my stuff. Yeah. I have a YouTube page. You can see my stuff. Instagram page. You can see my stuff. Yeah. And I say, send me some of your work. Oh, I don't have any. So if you see that I'm serious about it, why would you think that I'm going to bullshit with you? And it's like, I know you don't mean to come off that way, but you disrespecting me because you see how serious I am about it. And the last time you did anything was when you was in theater. Okay. You could do it as an adult. When's the last time you did it? Oh, back in high school? When did you graduate? 2015?
Yeah.
2015 to 2024.
A decade ago now.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, you honing me.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, come on.
Yeah.
So and sometimes I do work with people that don't know nothing about it, which is fine, but it just depends on what we're shooting for. But it makes it harder to do the film stuff. So usually when I do movies, I just do my own thing. And I reach out to 2 people, and like I've done, let's see, how many have I done? 1, 2. I've done 2 short films. One was called Separated by Time.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. The second one was called Igniting Your Success. Was a documentary movie, a mini documentary about 2 entrepreneurs who started up. But even though they're on 2 different paths of entrepreneurship, everything still coexists with one another, showing that their stories is the same, yet they're different.
Yeah. And nice, and congrats again.
Oh, thank you. And I got other scripts that I just haven't started, but like I was like, I can't keep going out to people thinking they're gonna do it. I'm just have to make it happen for what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, shout out to the people that I met along the way that's been beneficial and put knowledge in my ear. Appreciate all of y'all. I can't say all of y'all names, but you know, Clint is one of them. Damien is another one of them. Full Sail, Randy Baker instructor. He's another fine gentleman that helped educate me and everything that I needed for film and everything.
Yeah.
And just all the people that help support me, man. It's a lot. And I feel bad that I can't say a lot of names because I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's like they put you on the front street and you're like, damn, I don't know what to say.
Facts.
But, yeah, that's just how I feel about that. But you know, I got love for everybody, and because I feel like I treat everybody as if we are equal, as opposed to, oh, I got this, so I'm gonna talk to you like this. I don't ever want to be one of those people in the industry that's like that.
Yeah.
Like I sit and talk to somebody for 3 hours, and people are like, oh, you should be charging them. You should be charging those people because you just talked to them for 3 hours. Why?
Right.
Why am I gonna charge them for 3 hours? I was in the same space where I wanted to know stuff. You know how defeated I would have felt. Somebody was like, yeah, you've been talking for too long. I'm gonna have to charge you.
What? Yeah.
Come on, man. Everything ain't got to be money. I know we live in tough times. Don't get me wrong, but don't let money get rid of your empathy and what makes you human.
Yeah.
It's okay to desire it and want it, but do not become it.
Yeah.
Money is the root of evil. And granted, the more money you get, the more it saves your problems. But at some point, what are you sacrificing for this money? You're not just gonna get all this money and not sacrifice anything. That's just with anything with life. And shout out to my Full Metal Alchemist people. And they know what I'm talking about. Equivalent exchange. What I give has to be the same as what is given to me. It's like I water you, you water me, I water you kind of thing. That same analogy is how that needs to be applied.
Yeah. I'm not a Full Metal Alchemist watcher, but I understand the philosophy. That is law. Exactly. That is a life principle.
Yin and yang.
Yeah.
Whatever, like it's gonna be whatever good, there's gonna be bad. With love comes hate.
Yeah.
You can't escape it. It's a cycle.
Right.
So do with that what you will. I don't know.
I can't lie to you. You just touched so much that I don't even know if I have the time to unpack everything that you just said. One thing I do want to highlight is, one, I don't want it to go over people's head just because you have 400 followers. It doesn't mean that you haven't accomplished anything. You're a very accomplished individual. You're also very humble about your accomplishments. I want to say that point being, because even the names that you mentioned are huge people in their respective fields and what they do. And you've helped them create some of what they have in that sense. So I want to give you props for that. I want to say congrats for that. Again, even with the short films, again, making you are a lot further along than most people in your film journey or in this journey of videography than most people, because one, making a film, it comes with a lot of headaches and a lot more work than people actually understand that goes into it. And you've done not just one but 2.
And I got a third one coming out too.
And you have a third one coming out. So I want to say congrats. And not to mention, you were also laid off within the past year and still was able to, in between all of what you listed, still put your art out into the world. So I want to again say congrats to you for that as well.
Thank you so much.
And now I guess to kind of get into some of these questions, a lot of what you mentioned, especially what you've seen in the industry, and you were around celebrities during that time period, especially with the film festival, you gave so many gems. It doesn't just apply to film. What you just said, it applies to anything, business, real estate. I've had a couple conversations with people who've been on this show as well who have mentioned and said a lot of the similar principles that you've mentioned and said in your journey through film and through life as well. So I don't want that to go over anybody's head. You mentioned some great stuff on how to network, putting yourself out, how to brand yourself, how to market yourself, how to be confident, why you should be confident. You touched a lot there. What I do want to touch is the ego, because you said that's what puts a lot of things, what halts a lot of things is people's ego, or in working with people, what you don't like is people's ego. I kind of summed it down to that, the ego, but that's what it was, the ego.
That's exactly it.
Talk about navigating that through this industry and how often you have to deal with people like that.
Oh, you have to deal with that shit 24/7. Like there's the people that's very humble about it, and it's like, all right, yeah, we can do this. And then there's the people, and you can tell them apart. Like it's so easy to tell them apart now. And I haven't even been doing it that long, but like, it's hard in a sense because it's like, all right, I really respected this, and like I was looking forward to this, and now that whole dream that I had is now shattered because you're a piece of shit. Not a piece of shit as in like you're a low life human. A piece of shit as in like you one of those people one of those CEOs that I would hate to work for. And I feel like if you go with that vibe, I'm not going to do it. I've turned down money just because I felt that you didn't respect me. Like, I'm not going to say no names or nothing, but there was somebody that was offering $7,000 a month. And they was like, set up the meeting, goes ghost on me. Goes weeks without hearing, oh, sorry, I was in the hospital a couple of days. That was still been 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I don't know, you just went ghost on me, and then now you coming back talking about some, oh yeah, that's work. No.
Yeah.
No. Why would I do that? You didn't even respect me enough to send me a message. Granted, not saying he lied about anything. I don't think that at all. I wish him the best always. But the way I seen it as in, you didn't respect me enough to talk to me until when you felt like you wanted to talk to me, as opposed to talking to me because there's urgency and you don't want me to feel left out. Like if you would have went about it and was like,
wow,
you know, I've been meaning to get in contact with you, and let's say this all happened within that same week, I would respect it more. But you went 2 weeks.
Yeah. You
didn't respect me. And I hate when people say like, oh, busy. You're only busy for people you don't care about.
Facts.
I could be busy.
Facts.
I could be having 30 things going on right now, but if certain people that I know,
if your mom calls you, you saw it.
Exactly. I might not be able to return it right then and there, but I'm going to call you back.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you back within reasonable time too. It's not going to be, oh man, like ain't nothing more annoying. You talk to somebody at 3 o'clock, you don't hear from them again until 8 a.m. Come on now. Come on now. You ain't that damn busy.
Right.
You telling me after that whole time, you didn't think to, hey, let me make sure this person's all right or something like that. Yeah. I'm not saying even I'm the best at it, but like I still send messages to people or something. Like if I don't get a call, like I would never have somebody waiting days and days on reply unless you are somebody that's done it to me. And if I had this conversation with you before,
yeah,
it is what it is. Like I'm just not going to hold on to that, but I am going to remember, yeah, you did this to me a couple times. So like if you don't get a call back or text back from me, checkmate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just is what it is. I don't got no ill intentions with you, but I'm not about to keep enabling you to keep doing that to me, then saying, "Oh, my bad." Nah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Stand on whatever if you're gonna do it, stand on it.
Yeah.
It's really what it come down to. Even if you think it's shitty, like you can't go so far into something and it be like, oh, you know, nah, stand on it. You was talking real confident before, stand on it.
Yeah.
Either stand on it or come out publicly and say that you was wrong. But you can't do that whole, oh, I'm gonna just slide back in without acknowledging. Nah. You want to acknowledge what you did. That's the only way that's going to work with me. If you're not willing to accept what you did, accountability, ain't nothing for us to talk about.
Facts.
So and that goes for anybody. Mama, dog, cat.
Right.
It go for anybody.
What's the telltale sign to someone in this industry of film that have an ego or don't have an ego? What's something you've noticed?
It's kind of like, man, this is another anime reference, but for those that get it are going to get it. It's kind of like there's an anime called Experimental Lane. And Experimental Lane, it basically is about this girl named Lane who has different personas. Her online persona, and then there's the real her outside of the internet. And you come across a lot of lanes with the online personality, and you could tell we're having an interaction with them. Like, you could talk to somebody in public, and you're like, oh, they're pretty cool. But then now you're trying to set up business. Now they acting like Lane on the internet. Why are you acting like this? Like, we had a real general conversation. Why are you acting as if like I'm beneath you all of a sudden, or you can't take the time to respond to me? Ain't nothing more infuriating when somebody say, oh, I'm gonna tap in with you, get your information, and then when you talk to them, they talking to you as if you insignificant. Excuse me? What? Yeah. So yeah, if they got that,
you come across so many people.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, like the perfect example is there's the Instagram personality, just like how they got the Twitter bots, where you just like, that feels very AI you to say that. Like, it doesn't feel like it's like, you can tell when something is genuine sometimes, but like during messages, you really can pick up on it. It's like
facts.
And if like usually like even sometimes like I'm like, I didn't like how that came off. I'll double back and be like, hey, this is how I actually meant it. Did this come off this way? I do that a lot. And I feel like if you're not willing to be like, because sometimes you gotta step back and look at your shit like, if this person's in a bad mood or such as this could be taken out of context. And I don't necessarily want to be taken out of context because they having a bad time or something.
Right.
So just give people that reassurance, be like, hey, you know, when I said no, I only said no immediately right there and there because I couldn't write out a full paragraph. My apologies. I was just saying no as in like, you know, so just double, follow up on the stuff that you say. Think of it as like a email. Talk to somebody prior to our email, such and such, but make it genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's how you need to be. So I avoid Instagram personalities. I avoid Twitter personalities. And you can tell the difference. If you're somebody I can vibe with and rock with, cool. And if we talk over the messages and stuff, we still the same way, I know this is the real you versus this is your real world personality versus your lame personality that you got on here. So that's how I look at people. And if your lame personality and outside personality is the same, I respect you.
Yeah.
I respect it. Like, they can say something, like, you know those people, they be like, dog, this dude just said something outlandish. Yeah. I don't know, he would say the same shit online. He would say the same shit online. It's like, and I'm not talking about something that's like disrespectful or bigoted or nothing like that. Just, you know, like, damn, what this dude just say about, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Wait, talk about clapping what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I respect those people because it's like, bro, that's who they are. And it's either like, if you don't like it, I mean, it is, you don't got to accept it, you ain't got to be cool with it, but like, I got to respect the fact that regardless, you are who you are. You standing up for what you are and what you stand for. I got to give you your props every time. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I respect that, man. I respect that. I do want to ask, what is something you wish you knew getting into film and videography? What's something you wish you knew before you enter into it?
I wish I knew that there wasn't a blueprint. Like, so with everything else, like you, yeah. So, are you familiar with the term SOP in the work for, like when you working?
SOP.
Yeah, you know what those are.
Not at all.
So let's say if he's working.
Maybe I do.
So let's say I'll explain it to you. Don't worry. Yeah. So if you're working at a job, they give you a SOP. SOP is a standard operational procedure.
Oh, and yeah, got you.
Telling you how to do this said job. There is no SOP for videography. Like a big thing, people be like, you know, what do I charge? It's up to you, big dog. Like, I can't tell you what you should charge. I can tell you what the market is going for right now, but I can't tell you what to charge. I can't tell you what editing software that you should use. I can't tell you what camera you need to have. I can make recommendations, but at the end of the day, when it comes to filming all that stuff, it is ultimately up to you to make the decision. They can just give you stuff, but there's nothing that's gonna set you up exactly for success. It's kind of, I'm gonna hop through this and see how this go.
Yeah. And to also so people can understand too as well, it's like how you look at certain artists, music artists, cadence. When someone is behind a camera or doing anything with lighting, is also their style. Like that way, so people can understand the two in terms of what you mean when you say that. Like you can recommend someone something, but they don't. If it's not their style, it won't make sense for them to do it. Is that correct?
Yes, and
style
and what just works for them. Like, you got the money to have you. Let's say some people have like the $10,000 or something that they can go get a camera. This person starting off, really all they can afford is like using their iPhone right now. So like the tips you trying to give, you giving based off of that ain't gonna apply to this person with an iPhone.
Wow,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
But also too, sometimes it takes sitting down with those people and talking to them, and being like, all right, I see what you mean. We can do this. Like, there's people I've talked to. Like, I was just on Columbus not too long ago. I got invited out for some stuff.
Nice.
And I was talking to somebody out there, and they're like, man, you know, I don't really know what to do for no intro. And I'm like, oh, bro, we chopped it up for a minute. And I was like, I can help you with this and all this other stuff. I'm not looking to charge him. I'm looking to set him up so he can be straight. That way he know what I'm going to show him, all right, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. Here's the file for it or whatever you need from it. I'm going to show you how to use this software if you can, or if you want to use a different software. But I'm showing you this is what you should use for this. From that point, it's up to you to take this egg I just gave you and raise it to how you want it to be. I can't tell you, oh, you should do this, but I also can't tell you you shouldn't do that either.
Because you don't want to discredit their. I see. I see.
And it's important to let people know that, like, what I'm saying is just strictly an opinion. How you feel is what matters at the end of the day, which is the same thing. The J. Cole analogy applies to that. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to everybody else got to say, oh, man, you can't believe you doing this. Whatever sits best with you is what you do. Just like people all the time be like, oh, I can't believe you charging for this. I'll be charging way more. And it's like, you got to ask yourself, who are you shooting for? I'm not shooting for Hollywood executives. So why am I trying? I'm trying to help people create their vision that they see fit. And I'm trying to reach as many people as possible to do that. I want to start a whole production company, dude. The whole point of the production company is so like we could do the kind of stuff that we do. Like there's a group called RDC.
I know them. Very familiar with them.
Yeah, I went to DreamCon. I met Mark, talked to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Before they even started, like I got to talk to him the day before DreamCon, so like all the people weren't even there. And I was just telling him an inspiration, but like just looking at what he did. And for the longest, I was using them as a blueprint. And there'd be times, and I'll talk to my friends, I'm like, man, wow. I was like, I can't do it. They're like, no, you gotta you don't you sound like you giving up. It's not necessarily about giving up. This dude has 7+ people. I'm just one. I can't use his blueprint for myself. I have to figure out a different way to start my company. I can use them as inspiration, but I can't follow them the same way thinking it's going to work for me because I just don't have that. And that's why I be trying to tell people I can't do it. Oh, you sound like you a quitter. I'm not quitting. I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm trying to tell you, don't be so Peabody that you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm telling you, no, with one person, I cannot make this accomplishment feasible for myself. I have to go a different way about it. I got friends that's down for it all the time. Cool. But
are you down for it sometimes or are you down for it all the time?
Exactly. I need people that's down for it all the time. I'm glad you're here to help me. Any friend that's ever helped me on anything, and shout out to the people when I'm doing gigs that just randomly come up, hey man, can I help you take down your lights? I appreciate y'all. I love stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now imagine having people like that that's like that 24/7 on that team. That's what I want.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the only difficulty part. But the bad and the good, I take it all.
Yeah. That was such an interesting thing too. And again, man, you're very honest. You know what I'm saying? Even when you bring up RDC and Real Dreams Change the World is that whole slogan behind it. And it's funny enough, man, I was actually in high school when I first started to see them. Like when they started, I think it was like the 3 signs or something like that. Like the 3 signs of a bad basketball player or something like that. And then to see where they are now after creating short films and, you know, having the acknowledgement that they have now, it is something that is truly inspirational. What do you feel like is something that is a misconception of what you do?
Misconception is that people think that you can just buy a high-end camera and then everything is good. And
that's almost a life philosophy.
Yeah. So, you know who King Vader is, right?
Sounds familiar.
Usually he used to be real big on Vine. Like he did like the president doing the dances with the Power Rangers.
I'm so like not familiar. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. He has his own show on Netflix called Dreams. Or something like that. King Vader.
Continue with the story.
Okay, so he's probably as big as RDC actually.
Wow.
He was there at the last DreamCon.
Nice.
Met his team too.
By the way, just because I don't know him, I'm not discrediting anything.
No. I don't take that away. King Vader, you already know what's up, man. I don't even know if you remember me. When I first wanted to start off, and I tagged him on Twitter, and I still go back to this tweet to this day. And I said, man, I really want to do what you do. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I was like, I don't think I can do it. And he was like, dude, I started off with using a small cell phone. And he's like, from now, I worked my way up to that. He was like, if you have something you want to shoot, do it. And, after he tweeted that to me, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to shoot something. Yeah. And I shot it off my phone. And it was my boy Markel. Shout out my boy Markel. Came all the way out from Vegas. And my boy Akil, he lives here from the city too. I was like, hey, would y'all mind if I just filmed y'all at this? We was at a YumaCon, and it's an anime convention.
Yeah.
I was getting shots of them and all that, and then I just edited it up, and then people was like, man, this is pretty good. And I'm like, oh, you think so? Okay, let's turn it up a notch. And it just went off from there. But it just goes to show, you don't need no high-end camera. You just need to know what you're doing. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And then once you start from there, you just build your way up with knowledge. Like, you don't need a $5,000 camera. You don't need a $3,000 mic. Like, do what you got to do. There's somebody right now that shoots music videos off his phone. His name's Cole Bennett, Lyrical Lemonade.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
And, bro, shot off an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Off an iPhone, which goes to show you what? The camera does somewhat play a role, but you don't need that expensive camera either.
You don't, because you're telling a story through the camera there. Whatever camera you're using, you're telling a story through it. And if you don't know how to tell a story, it doesn't matter what style of camera you use, it's gonna be bad.
And the work that's important in post-production on top of that. So it's like
facts.
If you got somebody that can shoot real good, but they suck at editing, pass it off to a good editor, you can make, and then both of y'all just piggybacked off each other, bam, now y'all just blew up. Because man, did y'all see there's people that's gonna always like appreciate camera
The Blair
work.
Witch Project?
Blair Witch Project. The scary thing about that movie is that movie was so unique because nobody could determine if that movie was real or not.
Yeah.
And the fact that they want to do a remake, I don't think they should, because you will never be able to replicate that aura that had.
The wonder and amazement.
And it's really crazy.
The fear and astonishment.
Like, how do you get a film that you don't know is real or not into theaters?
Yeah.
It did something that was truly unique. And look at that. That movie still talked about to this day. So apply examples like that. Apply for me. I'm a nobody. I'm not saying you can't listen to the bigger people, but I'm saying I'm a nobody telling you this. Bro, just go out there and shoot.
That is such a lie. I love how humble you are, bro.
I'm not, dude. Like I don't consider myself.
I only say that too because, like I said, man, you've for what you've, and again, it also makes sense. And like you said, you're a what's next individual. You literally live by that principle of what's next after you accomplish things. But you're a lot more established in this space than most people ever get to, truthfully, because most people don't have that. I'ma just do it mentality about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the two short films you created, the other projects you worked on, even how you say when you touch the backdrop of how you even got to that point, most people don't have that level of confidence or assurance in themselves and what they believe in, that they could actually do it. But transitioning into, man, what's a typical day look like on set? Because I want to debunk this so people can finally know that making films, making projects is a lot more difficult than what it seems.
Okay, so are we talking about on set in regards to like filming, or are we talking about like videography work? Like
touch videography and filming. So
for videography, so much more laid back. I don't want to say I prefer it, but I prefer the vibes. So you know, depending on if it's your first time at an event, I would recommend. So let's say your event starts at like 5, but you want to typically get there like an hour and a half before. You want to scope it out. You want to see, all right, where can I stand up to get this shots and all this? Because you got to remember, you're there to shoot to make their memory last forever. If you're gonna stay stagnant in one spot the entire time thinking you're gonna produce something quality related, you're sadly mistaken. So it's just about scoping the scenery out. Then from there, you know, if depending on the type of event you got, you might have a list. So you know, all right, I gotta at least be in this general area for this. Oh, but then they got this, so I need to make sure I can run over here. It's all about coordination. So you got to coordinate where you're gonna have that at. And then for the most part, man, just point that motherfucker. Just like for videography, you just point it. But like, I use it more as a cinematographer because that's what I've been taught on how to do it. So like, there's cinematographers that's videographers, and there's videographers that are cinematographers. They're gonna shoot completely different.
Yeah,
like I shoot like a cinematographer, not a videographer. So like, I like to have stuff within frame. I like to have, depending on what I'm shooting. Like if I'm shooting something where it's like a party, all bets is off. You know what I'm saying? I just got to capture some good footage. So that's for videography, and then for filming, those are when the days are long, because at least at a video, I mean at a like a video gig or something, you like, all right, I know at most I'm gonna be here until like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Filming, dude. The last movie we did, we started at 1 o'clock. We did not stop everything until 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to keep this. It's not that whole time we working. It might just be sometimes you shooting the same damn scene 8 times because you like, I'm gonna get it from this angle. I'm gonna get it from that angle.
Or the sun rotated a certain way. Now the lights messed up
or whatever. And it's just stuff like that. And it's a lot more stuff that goes into it. You just gotta be there. People get angry. People got to get their water. You got to get their snacks. We get distracted. Man. It's just so much stuff that can happen on set. Something could go wrong, and now you're like.
But that's what makes it what it is.
Exactly.
Though.
But you know what it ties into it too? People take too much time. Like, don't get me wrong, love your craft. But at the same time too, even if it's not your best thing, put it out there.
I see what you mean.
Put it out there. Yeah. Like the movie I coming out right now, there's a couple mistakes that I know for a fact that I was like, oh, I hate this movie. I hate this movie. Like I walked away pissed. Like I was like, nah, this is not it. But then I thought back to it and I said, man, I am not no major production company. I am a one-man team. And me and some people put something together. Is it grade A worthy? No. But did we have fun when we did it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's a shot where there's a boom mic in one of the shots that shouldn't even be there. And I'm just like, but now I done learned how to do rotoscoping and stuff too. So You know what I'm saying? Like from editing, I can take that out during post. Yeah. It's you know, just take the blows or you messed up with people. They do it in movies all the time. I mean, in a Tupac movie, didn't he have an iPhone?
Something like that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, just put it out. Yeah. You never know.
Most people don't realize too is like the greatest films that you like, a lot of what made certain scenes that you admire or look at was a mistake.
Yep.
Something that didn't go right. You know what I'm saying? That actually went right. You know what I'm saying?
Happens all the time.
And so many different decisions that you have to make on set, you know, deciphering whether you're going to use this or use that determines what the outtake of the movie is. You know what I'm saying? So many different things. I do want to touch too, and going back to that on set aspect. Is that something that you expected when you first got into it, that the days will be kind of longer depending on what you did, or was it something you were already accustomed to?
So the thing about it is like there's actually supposed to be rules and regulations to it, but when you're independent, you can do whatever you want. But as long as the team is all down, fuck it, we gonna do it.
Right.
Typically, you shouldn't be doing no longer than 10 hours.
Yeah, facts.
Like that's like a rule, and like
if we're talking about
we're talking about how it's supposed to actually be, it's supposed to be 10 hours. There should be somebody there. It's supposed to be something on the wall indicating the safety. So if something goes wrong, you know, a hospital is right here. Call this number. Such and such, call this number to hear the emergency contacts. Like we have this thing that we have to live by, which is called a production Bible.
Yeah.
And the production Bible basically means, so let's say for example, right, if I was like, all right, we're gonna shoot this. Production Bible, I would send you over a talent release form, which means you give me my consent to shoot you on here. Contact information, which means if something happens to you, who do we contact? Do you give us permission to release your likeness and stuff like that? It's just a whole bunch of regulations that go into the production Bible. You got to have your signature signed off on it saying I'm okay for the talent release. And let's say if you help me set up anything, now you got to sign a crew release form. You got to put documented on that. And if you don't have any of that, and you go to be like, hey, this is a movie I made, and they say, hello, this is production Bible. A what? Oh yeah, we don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
because you're a liability. And there's you know, I'm not gonna
those rules.
I'm gonna go there. I'm not gonna say the name of the movie. If you know, you know. There was a film they were making a movie, and I'm pretty sure you know about this. They were filming on a train track. They never got the rights or the authority to not be on that train track.
Yeah,
due to poor planning and think you can cut corners, it resulted in a young lady dying and multiple crew members getting hurt from the train because they couldn't go off the train tracks fast enough. The movie never came out.
Yeah.
But that lady lost her life because you did not take your job seriously. The whole safety thing, there's certain roles in it where it's like, all right, I'm gonna call here and make sure we can do this.
Yeah.
We got this much time to do this, so we need to go shoot this here now. Why are they giving us permission?
Yeah.
You don't want to jeopardize nobody's safety.
Facts.
Baldwin, that's another one. Bro, your team members, it ain't really on you. You may have killed that woman, but like your team members didn't go do the regulations and safety inspections that they should have, which resulted in you killing this lady. She was just like me. That could be me.
Yeah.
So when you hear stuff like that, you have to really start advocating for stuff like that and being safety. Like I'm OSHA 10 certified, which means I understand safety regulations and I understand what it is. And you have to be willing to tell people like, no, if we're not doing this, we're not doing it. Yeah. I mean, there's times where I've done stuff, but it's because I decided to. Like I did a Camaro promo for my boy, and I was like, man, it'd be cool if I can get some shot of him driving. I sat in the back of the trunk. No wire, nothing, dude. And I was just recording like this with the camera. Was that stupid? Hell yes. But at least that's me putting my own life in jeopardy.
Right.
I would never tell another crew member, hey, get right here in this spot.
Yeah.
That's come on, man. You can't do that. Right. You gotta have same respect you want to give. You want giving teams what you gotta give to your crewmates.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I gotta say too, the positive to that in this world, we call that stealing a shot. If you don't have the certifications, but permission to use a certain location or something like that, and you choose to shoot it anyway, it's called stealing a shot. And when it goes right, it goes right.
Yeah.
But when it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Exactly. It's a big risk.
Exactly.
It's a big risk. I gotta ask, man, what's something you've learned in your journey through film so far?
That no matter how skilled you get, there's always going to be something left for you to learn. There's always something new coming out. There's always a new technique that you can use. Honestly, a lot of these people that just be making like quick Instagram videos, they didn't taught me some things on how to do stuff that I use that to my day-to-day on film stuff now. Yeah. So it's like, don't ever assume that you know everything. Assume that you don't know. Always assume you don't know everything. Right. Because then it opens up your brain to be to take in knowledge. But if you go in there cocky, arrogant, I know all of this. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I say one word to you. Well, what is that? Oh, I thought you said you knew everything. You should already know.
Right.
So that's just how I see that.
Yeah. What's some advice you would give to somebody into entering this space?
Find somebody that's local who is willing to help. Easier said than done. I understand that.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just make it for what it is. Like sometimes just ask somebody, hey, would you be willing to do this for free? I can't like I always tell people all the time, if I got something, I'm like, I can't promise you no cheese right now, but if everything go good, it could go good and you get paid.
Yeah.
And I just be upfront about it. Like I never send nobody in a dream and be like, oh yeah, I can give you this $300. Bro, I'm not balling.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So I just had to keep upfront with it. And I think that's worked a lot easier. So ask questions, find somebody you can go into. If you can't find somebody locally, there's always thousands of people on Instagram who always do reels saying like, this is your light setup, you should use this. Here's some affordable lighting, you can do this. They got YouTubers that do it.
Yeah.
Somebody who I recommend really big. He's not a filmmaker or nothing but like that, but his name is Justin Porter Media on Instagram.
I've heard of him.
Yes, he's phenomenal. He does his own type of, he's a wedding filmmaker, but the way he shoots everything is basically like he turns it into like a reality show, and that's his own spin on things. And he's he's a Red ambassador. Red is a really good company. He's an ambassador for that, and so like just go listen to him. Like if you don't know nobody, always look them up. I'll be watching random people on YouTube. Sometimes they might even have like 3 subscribers, and they might say something that I'm not even familiar with, or show me a way to cut my process in half. So just always research, but do not get so caught up on research. And I need to repeat this: do not get so caught up on research that you do not put nothing into action.
Yeah, so true.
That will do nothing but that's gonna take away from you. Like
it stalls you.
It stalls you because you're like, oh, I can't do this. So I get this, and then you get this, and now you're like, oh, I need this one more thing. Okay, now you got this. Oh, I need to do this. Just go. You ain't gonna never have everything you need. Just go.
Yeah.
So find people to get knowledge from, and even if you like, man, I don't like how this came out. Like I said, shoot it, put it out.
Yeah.
Be open to criticism. But there's a difference between constructive criticism and just people bashing you.
Yeah.
People gonna say whatever they say. It's not up to you to regulate what they say. It's up to you to determine if you want to take in that negativity or not.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you give no words, no power, it doesn't hold anything over you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I recommend. Find people you can respect. If you can find somebody locally to work with them, to ask them questions. There's people that have added me on Facebook randomly, like, hey man, I know you're in Michigan. Like, hey, if you ever free for a shoot or something, can we do this? And like I said, to me, I'm not nobody that's crazy, but it feels good knowing that like somebody was like, dang, I like what this dude doing. I'm gonna go message him. I've had somebody walk up to me in a club before. It's like, I love your work.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I appreciate you. I walked in the rooms where people go, hey, the cameraman is in here.
Yeah.
People get excited to see me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It'll go back to that whole conversation I told you earlier where it's like, I love wholesome interactions like that. Those mean more to me than any type of, oh yeah, you know, that's me.
Yeah.
You know? Nah, bro. You happy to see me? Me? Oh, hey, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so that's what I recommend. There's people like that. There's probably people more even cheerier than me that can even help you more than me. So, you know, that's what I recommend. But don't be afraid to message and send nothing. You know, the worst they can say is nothing or no.
Yeah.
And if they say anything crazier than that, then that speaks volumes to you too, which means you shouldn't have been even having interactions with this person that was that negative.
Yeah. I really hope you look at yourself as an artist.
I do
because
consider
you are. You definitely are.
Artist.
You definitely are. Based on a lot of your viewpoints and perceptions and what you've created, you definitely are an artist. And much respect too for even going back to the passion you have for art and not running from that innate feeling of I can do this, I can create, I want to get back to creation. Because so many people run from that one bad thing and it's like I'm done with creating, I'm done with this, I'm done with that. But having the confidence to step back into that space after the hurts is much respect and much props to you. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions and we're gonna get out of here. But
okay,
when it comes to someone trying to find work, and the way you answered the last question kind of leads into this. When it comes to someone finding work in this space, I guess 2 questions. How difficult can that be? And what is the best advice you would give to them?
What can be difficult is, so there's 2 different things that come to with being difficult. There's the, man, I want to get paid for this difficult. And there's the, I just want somebody to give me a shot difficult. The paid difficulty, I push that more on the back burner because think about it like this way. Who gonna want to buy from somebody that ain't got no proof of their product?
True.
I could tell you I'm an amazing barber. Oh, show me your pictures. I ain't got no pictures. Anybody else in the barbershop that can cut my hair real quick?
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? So it's one of those things. And I feel like
Such a good analogy.
the way to look at it is, and be willing, like J. Cole said it the best. Pride is the devil, and I think he got a hold on me. Let go of that hold. Be willing to shoot for free when you start off. Like, people will tell you all the time, you stupid for shooting for free. Me shooting for free is what led to me having 4 clients, and that was in the span of a year.
Yeah.
That was in the span of a year. Probably not even a full year. In the span of a little under a year, I made 4 clients.
Yeah.
And I started off shooting for free.
Yeah.
That paid gig is gonna come. Like, you're not gonna get paid for every video you do. So it's like, don't give up just because you got no's. And that can go for everything. Like I told you earlier, you only need 1 domino to fall.
Yeah.
So if you got 1,000 dominoes and only 1 fell over, hey, all you need is that 1 connection. So don't give up. If you're gonna do it for the love of it. Don't do it because you're like, man, I need some quick, easy money. You ain't gonna never make no quick, easy money off no film. Ever.
Facts.
So if you in it for strictly just quick money, unless like, I mean, if you're doing gigs, I mean the deposits and all that, that's cool and all, but like, if you're looking for something like, oh, I gotta pay my mortgage. I mean, depending on what you shooting, if you starting off, you ain't gonna have no mortgage payment type gig.
Right.
So be willing to shoot for free. Be willing to reach out to people. Don't just assume somebody gonna reach out to you because they know you have no. You gotta remember, we're not celebrities here. We're just individuals that's getting by. So just keep that mindset in mind and remain humble. Because if you get too cocky about it, like this sort of stuff, where I'm like, hell yeah, I know I shot that. That's good as hell. But I ain't gonna never go in there and be like, I'm the best of the best. I might say something like I post online all the time, like, hey man, I ain't got no beef with none of y'all in Detroit, but I'm trying to be better than all y'all in Detroit too. At the same
competition.
Time. Yeah,
as a artist, but healthy.
Exactly. Like, I don't want your business to ever crumble, but I want my business to do better than you for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we come to the point where it's like, oh, you know about me because like, you know, you've been taking some clients. Hey, bro, we just got to throw them blows for it. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying? You mean,
creatively.
Yeah, we got to fight creatively. Let's have a camera off. Let's see who can really do something. Let's see who can execute this shot the best.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I'm always looking for smoke. I'm always looking for smoke.
Now you're a competitor. Is much respect to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize that there's room for everybody to eat, and collaboration, especially in art, is better than comparison. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. Another question: when it comes to film freelance work, what do you enjoy most about it?
I enjoy the process of creating it. Like, not everybody you run into is gonna be your client, but everybody you also don't run into doesn't mean they won't be your client. Which means like this person might not want you as a client, but they may know somebody that's interested in being a client. So because this person told you no, don't mean you're not gonna probably get some type of benefit from that said person. So it's important to keep that in mind. So when you go from that and it's like, man, yeah, I've been like, there'd be times where I'll be cool people for a minute before we even do anything. And just keep in mind, like, just keep it genuine, bro. You keep it genuine, it's gonna lead to whatever you need it to. And that's the thing about freelancing. It allows me to be my authentic self. Like, I don't need to put like, I'm not showing up to come talk to you in those slacks. I'm not. Yeah. Like, this is me. I look like a Detroit anime guy. That is literally my vibe. That's what I am. Like, I might use different vocabulary depending on what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, just for that. But like, no, bro, freelance, you can be who you want to be authentically, and you can make money off being yourself genuinely, as opposed to,
yeah, so I was looking over at the contract today, and it says that you wanted to get 5 shots. I thought we talked about 6. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more on that deposit, buddy.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta be like that. It's just stuff happens. So it's a lot easier to know that like, it's easy to have mix-ups and stuff and it not seem like it's so detrimental to everything. And that's what I like about freelancing, is because like at that point, I mean, I am my boss, and it makes it easy to be like, you know, such and such, how you feel about that? Nah, I ain't really rocking with that, buddy. All right. I hope you find another person and wish you the best, but I am not doing that. I can put you in the direction of somebody that might want to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So just because I say no, you know, freelancing is a chance to also help other people. Like, people be like, oh man, I got this idea for a photographer, for this photography shoot. Everybody, I am not a photographer. I get this message a lot. I appreciate y'all. I'm not a photographer though.
Yeah.
I will always lead that to people that actually know what they're doing. to do that.
Yeah.
Those are who you go to. But I'll even recommend like, hey, I know this person that do. You should talk to them.
Yeah.
But like I've never been like I don't do photography. Bye. I'm gonna try to point you in a direction for the best photographer that I know. Yeah, you can go from there. But like, you know, just get as a freelancer, man, you got so much opportunity to put so many people on, and you never know, like that person that didn't want to do that shit, like, oh, that shit weird. That could be life changing for somebody else.
Right.
Especially if you know that person, like, oh yeah, they told me that Troy sent you to me. I don't even be talking to Troy like that. Troy sent you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I've tried to do my best to build up a reputation to where like it's just a good, genuine vibe, and like I like the fact that I built a reputation off being me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I take pride in that. Like, there's times where I've worked gigs and I'll tell some girls like, hey, if you don't feel comfortable, I'll walk you to your vehicle. I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
And now people know me as that, oh, that's the dude that's such and such. So it's like, it's good to have that kind of reputation when you're freelancing, because people be like, oh yeah, he looked out for such, oh, he helped us with this when he. Being genuine leads to a lot of things. If you, as a freelancer, I know you want the money. Let the money come second. Let the love come first.
Yeah.
That's my honest opinion on that. I know it sounds cliche, man, but that. I'm not balling, bro. Like I said, but I was making enough money to get by being laid off for 5 months. So I mean, I got to be doing something.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
Take it for however you want to take it. But like I said earlier, everything don't work for everybody. My blueprint might not work for you, but I do think being genuine and not having no animosity towards people will get you a long way in life, no matter what it is.
Yeah. I completely agree. And keeping your name and face clean is a life principle for any profession. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody. And to me, it sounds like an answer in that last question. It had to do with creative control and opportunity, and also the freedom to hustle. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, what's better, being a freelancer or working with a already established crew team company?
I've never worked with an established crew team or company. I've only done freelancing stuff. I may collab with other people, but they are freelancers in themselves too. But like, I've never actually worked with a company. Am I down for it? Absolutely. If somebody was like, hey, we need you on set to bring your camera. Okay. Yeah. I have a pretty good camera, and it's not a flex, but I have a Sony FX3. That's a Netflix graded camera. They use that on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I can shoot with y'all. I have no problem with doing that.
And I heard Tubi is also transferring into that camera as a base minimum for what they, or not the base minimum, but cameras like that as the base minimum for getting a movie onto their site. Like,
I don't know much about Tubi, but I mean, if they having that regulation in there, if y'all got a Tubi movie, come holler at me. Said you need a Sony FX6, I already got it.
Yeah.
So you know, my whole thing, I always wanted to build like a network.
Yeah.
Like if I couldn't get a company started, I wanted a network. That way we can toss ideas off each other. Like, I had this vision for like this website, and I was like, man, like my production company, I wanted to be a company that do stuff, but I also wanted to be kind of like Uber. But the way it was gonna work different is that like, let's say like, oh, we want to hire you for this. Okay, so how many people you need for this? All right, you can search the database for other people that signed up for the website and do this. You can see the reviews that prior customers have left to them. And then automatically the money be broken down based on the customer's budget for what they wanted to spend, and then the funds be delegated between the team members that way. And I don't know how I would make that work off easily, but that was the whole vision I had. I was like, man, imagine being able to go to a one-shop stop instead of having to go through like, they got all different kinds of stuff like Fiverr and all this other stuff. No company having this network, and it's like people like that could just lead to so many different things.
Facts.
So that's all. I dream big.
I feel that, man. I'll get you out of here with these last 5 questions. First one, what's next?
What is next? I guess what's next is I'm looking to build up my revenue flow. I'm going to be having a meeting after this for the game tournament I want to do. I'm trying to have it run monthly.
Okay.
And have people compete for like a money cash prize, and then have like a giveaway for second prize or something for third place. Yeah. And have that run and just get, because you know, in Detroit, well, not even Detroit, but just Michigan alone, we don't have too much stuff like that. Like, where like nerds can go out and just do their thing. It's always club this, club that, or arts and crafts this, arts and crafts that. Okay, let's switch it up a little bit. Not to discredit none of those people. I wish them all the best always, but having a place where you can go compete for money, like, oh yeah, bro, I can go look into this, and then that could bring in more people. Like, just giving people something to do. You know, and if something I like, I won't consider it as a job. I consider it as in like, man, I brought all these people in, and I've been working on this game tournament since I got laid off, because I was like, all right, I need to have another flow or something. And I was like, I already got the name made, the logo is finished, the venue has been picked, food vendor is sponsored. So I have everything already. I just got to put it out there. So that's what's next for me is that. Nice. Oh, and graduating.
From school.
yeah. I'll be done in November. I got to go out to Florida to go walk. And yeah.
That's hilarious. So this whole conversation, all the gyms that you listed, it's like, oh yeah, and you also got to finish film school.
Yeah,
like that's wild, man. That's wild that you've been able to create what you've been able to create while still being in school. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like more. As a matter of fact, I'll ask one more question. What advice would you give to students in school trying to create a catalog for themselves and still following their passion in videography? How would you recommend they go about doing that?
Look at it as like an onion. Take the layers off. Whichever is the most important to you, prioritize that. But make sure you also water everything else. Like when you peel one layer off, you got to be willing to take that second layer to figure out what else, because that whole onion itself is the foundation of your house. Don't just have a house with no foundation.
Yeah.
Build it up, then go from there. And, stand on business, man. Like if it's something that you absolutely do not rock with, you are allowed to say no. Like, don't look at it as like, man, I'm gonna miss that money. No, if you don't rock with it, you don't rock with it. Stand on it.
Facts.
And let your portfolio be a representation of you. Like if you do some shit and it's like, I don't know how I would feel about that. You probably, you know what I'm saying? Like if you feel that way, I shouldn't have done that. But the way I see it is, as long as I'm not doing nothing illegal or is it something that's gonna make me feel weird, I'll shoot it. And I've been asked all kinds of stuff. I've been asked to do OnlyFans stuff, all kinds of stuff. Have I done it? No. But
if times got hard, would you?
I'm not opposed to it. But they gotta be set up to where it's like, hey, I'm gonna just set this camera right here and I'm gonna go. Like, cause I know you don't think I'm about to be all up in the motherfucking mix. I'm not getting in the mix. Yeah. Like I'm willing to lend you the camera, but I'm have to be here because I don't trust you with my shit.
Dude, that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? But if somebody was like, hey, like something I absolutely would not be with is like something weird like, hey, we're gonna be doing this tickle party or something like that. I'm not showing up for that. I don't know what y'all got going on.
Right.
I think the crazy thing I got asked to film was this erotic. What was it called? It was erotic poetry, and man, I went in there like I thought it was just gonna be poems. Man, there was a stank station. There was this dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This dude put on a performance. I forgot his name. He's actually cool as hell though. Put on a performance. They did like a BDSM performance on the front of the stage, and I was like,
that's wild.
I'm like, how did I get here? But it's like some of the stuff you like, man, this junk is weird. It's like, it's not really weird because it's like, ain't nobody touching me. I'm not getting close to nobody. Yeah. I'm just here to do the job. As long as I'm not doing that's incriminating, I'm okay with it. But am I gonna be on the camera doing that? Nah, probably not. Probably not.
That's a whole new meaning of putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So probably not. But whatever you gonna stand on it. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah. If you could sum up the last 5 years, I say before leaving for Vegas and then where you are now, if you could sum that up in 3 words, what 3 words? What would those 3 words be?
Shitty, enduring, and proud. The last 5 years of my life have definitely been nothing but utter shit. Like, I've had some accomplishments in those 5 years. Don't get me wrong. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, this is not a day I don't go by where I'm like, dog. I be at home all the time like, man, something got to shake. Because it's like, even with the success that I've gained, it's like, it's not enough. It's not enough. Like, I need it to be enough to where it's like, all right, cool. I can actually sit back and be like, oh, this was worth it. Right now, don't nothing look worth it because I haven't got to where I wanted to go. But I don't want it to be misconcepted that I'm not proud of it. I'm proud of it. But people that know me personally, man, I was dealing with suicidal tendencies and all kinds of stuff, dude. And I was just like, man, I need something good to last for at least, like, give me a good year of positive. I'll be good, bro. I'm straight, and then I'm proud, though, because at the same time, I didn't give up. My mom was just talking to me, man. And it blew my mind. Actually, I almost cried a little bit because ever since I started the film thing, I've not heard nobody say, like, I've heard like friends say like, I'm proud of you and stuff like that. But like my mom hadn't said it. And my mom, that's my rock. You feel me? Like I never really thought much about it, because she supported it anyway. She just never said about that she was proud of it. And she, right before I came here today, because she knows I was coming on her show, she was like, I'm so proud of everything that you're doing in spite of all the hardships that you've had. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that shit hurt. Well, not hurt, but it hit. Yeah. And so I was like, proud, shitty, and enduring. I had to endure a lot of shit, man. Like moving across the country, moving back across the country, losing money, losing a house, had to start my life over multiple times again and again, facing multiple layoffs.
Wow.
It's like, and it really ain't no end to that shit, but I think that's what life is for real.
Yeah.
And I don't care what nobody say. Something I live by is that people love to tell you, oh, be patient. Tomorrow is never guaranteed.
Facts.
Telling somebody to be patient is not fair. We don't have the luxury of being patient.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something you want, go get it. People tell me all the time, like, oh, you crazy. I can't believe you're not okay with not having this. I'm not. But that's what that burn inside of me. It's kind of like another anime reference. His embers inside of him that lets him, woof. That's what I got right now. And I'm not letting my fire go out. So if I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, I came too close to almost losing it all and taking my own life back in 2020 in September. And it's crazy because I never usually even talk about it, but I like putting it out there because
you're inspiring someone. You could be inspiring someone who's in a similar circumstance.
I was at wit's end, man. I was like, there is nothing coming back from it. And I remember the day I was gonna take my life. A friend of mine, her name is Cassandra. I guess the way I was typing to her, threw her off, pulled her to my house, man. We talked. And she was, let's go see a therapist. And then from there, I was admitted. And, I thank her all the time because if she wouldn't have came and talked to me, ain't no telling where I'd be at right now. I probably wouldn't even be sitting here right now. But I was willing to do it because everything seemed like just nothing was going in my favor. But if you're willing to endure it, it's always easier to say than to actually do. And I know people deal with mental illnesses all the time, and I'm not trying to make a light joke out of it at all, but as somebody that's went through it, if you can endure it, when you think you at your absolute worst where you can't take no more, you still got more in that threshold. You just can't see it because all you see is despair.
Wow.
Speak up. Talk to the people in your community if you can. If you don't, talk to me. T_Moss98. If you ever feel like anything's wrong, come talk to me. I have no problem with doing so.
Yeah.
But just don't give up.
Yeah.
It's even days now where like I feel better spiritually and everything, and I'm like, I'm still not okay with this life thing, man. Like, but at the end of the day, I keep doing it though because it's like shit. In spite of everything that I've done, look at all the good I've done too. The amount of lives that I've impacted, the friendships I've built, the connections I have to help set people up for stuff. It's like Spider-Man is my favorite hero. As you can see, I'm a big Spider-Man guy. I have a Spider-Man tattoo on my arm. I consider myself him, and no matter how many times he gets hit down, he gets back up. And somebody told me recently, it was like, man, you give all Spider-Man vibes because like you always seem like you want to step in and save the day. And that made me feel good. That made me feel good. And people tell me, you shouldn't be so nice. But it's like, okay, when I was a mean asshole, nobody had nothing to say. Now that I'm nice, I mean, they had something to say, but nothing like that I care. And now that I'm doing stuff that's nice, people are saying, oh, you too nice for this. And it's like, okay, well, damned if I do, damned if I don't. So I feel like it's a lot easier to try to help be somebody that somebody can talk to or save somebody from there. It's online friends I've never met who like, we've been cool for years because it's simple conversations like these, man. So if you are one of those people, I'm advocating for you. Always feel free to talk to me. I'm not a therapist, but I can help guide you in the right direction to who you should go talk to. I can give you resources, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah. And, just keep enduring it, man. Life is going to always be about enduring. And, the people that decided to not stick around, they endured what they could. And I don't want to make light of that at all. They took as much as they could take. A lot of people love saying stuff like, oh, they were selfish. Not selfish. You only saying they're selfish because now you got to deal with that pain. Nobody's thinking about the pain they're dealing with while they're alive. I'm not saying that's the route you should go, but I'm just saying, like, understand it from both perspectives. Yeah. So, if you are one of those people that's in that and you in the industry, I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's very depressing. It's like you're gonna get a lot of no's. Anything in the entertainment industry is always gonna be depressing because you don't have nothing. But once you get something, baby, and it start rocking, ooh, we got butter. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you, get to churning. Yeah. So, I'm churning butter. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I can't mass produce the butter, but I mean, if a couple local people like, hey, man, we need some butter for our pancakes. You know what I'm saying? I got that for you too, shit. It is what it is. So I take pride in that, I don't know, man. I be getting messages all the time. People be like I didn't show up for an event one time. People was like, yeah, where the hell is he at? What the fuck? Why he not showing up? Had people calling me. I'm at a wedding. People call, why the fuck you not here? I'm like, bro, I told you I was busy. And then I get a text message like, man, they was talking a lot of shit, but like they really cared. They really wish you was here, like your presence. I'm like, so again, stuff like that, going for somebody that didn't get all that when they was younger, to getting messages like that, I'm like, I'm glad I stuck around, man. Yeah. I'm making some type of impact on somebody. And regardless if the impact is bad, like I told you earlier, I accept those bad ones that I did, but all I can do is try to be better going forward.
Yeah.
So that's really how I'm getting by, man.
Yeah. You're very humble. I want to say something too as well. I'm glad I said it earlier, but just congrats on making it to where you're at in your journey. You know what I'm saying? That should not be overlooked by any measure. You know what I'm saying? And secondly, I want to say, dude, I'm proud of you, man. Like I don't know if you know, but that's another reason for why this show even exists or why this platform even exists is because there's so many people out there going through things that I feel like one person like yourself or any other guest previous could be connecting to someone else out there. They have no idea who may never meet, and vice versa. They also may never meet you. But because you've been willing to share your story on it, I want to say thank you too as well. But because you're willing to share your story, you don't know who you're inspiring out there to just go one more day in what they deem to be their purpose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So again, I want to say congrats and I'm proud of you. And to get us out of here on these last 3 questions, have you enjoyed today's conversation?
Oh, I loved it. It was an absolute blast.
Got you. Is there anybody you could see in your life being on this show?
Man, it's a nice amount of people I can see being on this show. I can see my boy Obi being on here. I can see my boy Clint, Damien, my boy Perez, Sergeant Adams. That's my dog.
I don't know what that meant. No, but you know what that meant.
He in the service.
Oh, got you.
Sergeant Adams,
got you.
Yeah, that's my dog, man. I think he would love to be on here. He's a very good. I bounce ideas off him all the time. He's a respectable man. I got to shoot his wedding event. That's my dog. Who else can I see on this show? Let me see. I'm trying to think of the list. My friend Uno, I can see her on here too. My boy Justin Conway. He's another good one. He was remember when I came up here, it was me and 2 other individuals, one light skin.
Oh yeah. AP's birthday, yeah.
Yeah, him. Yes. Justin Conway is an amazing person. I think he would be on here. I like the way he thinks. I've only known him since January, but that is my dog. I love the way he thinks, bro. He's a very stand-up man. Yeah. He offers a lot of knowledge. He's he up there at 30, but but no, he's a good one. But yeah, I recommend those.
Yeah. And then the last question, could you help us get them on?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely set that up.
Man, one, I want to say I appreciate that, and 2, dude, through your journey, I do really want to say this, man. It's so interesting. A lot of times, like I want to find like a lot of people are trying to get to the destination, and I have to say this again because to me it's so apparent in your story. A lot of the juice, the guts, the knowledge, the wisdom came on your way to the destination you were trying to get to, man. And I want to say again, congrats on making it this far in your journey, man. But Troy Moss, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, bro.
It's been a pleasure.